Listen, listen, listen. Welcome to Monday Night Toy Ramblings. Yes, all you people, I am back. I did not go anywhere, and you know what? You're welcome. I'm back. No, I have not withdrawn from doing live streams. I took a week off, and I will get into that shortly. Before we get into the news, because there are some things that I said I want to address, and I will address those things before we get into the news, and obviously, well, before we get into the topic. So be sure to stick around. But anyway, I'm kind of flying blind here. I have YouTube up here, my channel sitting right up here, so I can see if I get staticky. I've always mentioned before, the little icon stays up there, but for some odd reason, my computer has decided that a video that I watched, it doesn't want to come off. So it's stuck over covering up how many people are watching, if everything looks good. So if I start fading out, let me know, although I'm able to watch it right here. So anyway, hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. Hope everyone had a wonderful couple weekends, wonderful week. Sometimes we need a little break. We do a lot of work on this within this YouTube sphere, and sometimes it's like, this is my sick day that I'm calling in, and I appreciate everyone that joins me, and I know so many of you look forward to it. I'm not exactly sure why you do yet, but you do. So I try and come in and give you guys as much as possible. So, but anyway, hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. We did Punk's Pit on Friday. I actually, believe it or not, I actually slept in on Saturday. If I'm in bed past 10 a.m., I feel like I've wasted the whole day. It sucks. It's that mindset of waking up every day and going to work. And I was just like, I don't care. So I actually got to recharge on the weekends, which I'm not going to be too upset about. And I was able to still get a bunch of stuff done, take some cool pictures. I started to rearrange things while trying to do other things over the weekend. And you guys can't even see it, but there's a whole shelf up here. And the amount of things that start to tumble when you are trying to rearrange your toys is it's beyond aggravating, I guess, is the best way to put it, right? It's infuriating at one thing hits, or you kind of shake the shelf. And again, I don't use stands because stands make things look awful. But I sat there, and it was when I was supposed to be doing other things, but then that ADHD catches you and you're doing something that you shouldn't be. And I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start doing that. And next thing you know, you're off the rail. So anyway, I didn't really drop any videos. I tried getting back into doing some of the classic reviews. I had tried, as I mentioned before, having them all not all of them, and have a lot of them loaded, but it's just been a nice summer. And it's the last thing I want to do is sit inside all day and create content. And it hasn't rained until finally this weekend. We finally started to got to see some rain. So anyway, let's quickly run through the chat, say hi to everyone, and then I got a few things I definitely want to push. My own personal agenda, I guess, is the best way you can put it. Hi, it's me. Jumped in saying yes. We were going to need good printer copier text. Anybody have any skill set with them? Hey, I don't fix 3D printers. I spent a quarter of a century learning how to fix toner machines on one brand, and yet I've been thrown into doing plotters and inkjets, and now I'm going down for Xerox training next month, which I'm not looking forward to. But hey, we have 44D2 has joined us, probably for the 3D printing. We have MTC, we have GI Bro, who has the best guns in the community. We have US Combat Dojo, we have Krusty O Crow jumping in here. We have Beardy McBeardyson here. We have Snow Wolf, Derek Thurman is here. Plastic Fantastic, who does wonderful 3D prints, as many of you know. We have Johnny Reno, who has helped me with the classic reviews and so much more. Clint Jorgensen is here. Same Time Toys Mendoza is here. We have NorCal Voodoo. We have Derek Hoover jumping in here. Woo! Great to see him. If you haven't checked out his Thursday with a Friend when he was on with me, please go check it out. It was a great one. We've learned a lot. All right. Let's just say we are all going to try and avoid MS as much as possible. Cobra Commander is here. We have Sabir Del Norte. We have Ultra Mech is in the house. HK Viper. We have Kenzo's Creations. I know who does a lot of 3D printing. Also, Bees Battleground, my nemesis. He says, I don't think anyone approved your time off. Yeah, I did a no-show. Actually, I didn't. I actually did send out to let everyone know. I actually did send out to let everyone know. Son of a Crayon Slayer is here. There's one moderator, Action Figs, and I think this might be our only moderator in today. So he's going to be on double duty, that is for sure. Because who knows? You never know when we might have a problem. We have Tony's Figs jumping in here, the junior lawyer from, you know where from, the Circle of Jerks. Woo! All right. I think we set up hello to almost everyone. We have King Panther jumping here as a punk. Love and support from Chicago. Best classified at Marvel Legends reviews right here. Thank you very much. And hey, don't leave out Mythic Legions, because guess what? Tomorrow one might be dropping if you're into Mythic Legions. 610 Yojo Dad. What? Can you explain why you have 610 Yojo in parentheses then Daddy? Just, I've kind of always wondered. It's already a weird name to begin with. We have kind of discussed that. Ted Knight has joined us. There we have 3-star draw. We have Mad Rick in the house saying, hello, Larry, firm handshake from Portugal. That is awesome to have someone all the way from Portugal. Thank you very much. I know we've seen you in here before, so it's great to have you still around. Just Plain Yogurt, which I absolutely still love that name. Such a cool name. It really is. So, all right. There we have everyone. So please, if you haven't yet, hit that like button, because we got some stuff to quickly go over. So first off, many of you know I do another. I'm working on another channel with a buddy, Adam, called the TV Terminal. Has nothing to do with toys. We watch TV shows. Right now, we're going to be. Wednesday we'll be dropping the season finale of the Terminal List, Dark Wolf. Yesterday we dropped I should probably pull it up here. Yesterday we dropped Tulsa King season 1, and then Wednesday we will also be dropping Slow Horses, which is an Apple TV show. But anyway, we are sitting right now at 998 subs. So I'm going to drop this in right here, if you don't mind, just to get us over 1,000. We're still far away from hitting the 4,000 watch hours. We're actually still under the 3,000 watch hours, but I'd love to get it over 1,000 so we can just get that out of the way and then we can kind of move on from there. So please, there is the link. If you don't mind, we need to get two. All right. I'm sitting at 998 to start this show. So again, we only need two. And then I won't ask you for that anymore. We have action figure sold separately here. And we've hit 1K. Thank you very much to anyone that subbed. Thank you very much. Action figures sold separately. If you've seen a lot of the backgrounds that I'm doing, the smaller ones when I do pictures on Instagram, I bought 4 of them off him at Joe Fest. Wonderful, nice guy, wonderful wife. Thank you to Ed who brokered the deal to get to get all 4 of them. He does a wonderful job, and he's been in the community, so it's great to see him. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm going to be reaching out to you shortly about some other things too. So, and then we have Ostradamus Toys, who has, I think, finished the thumbnail for the Punkathon 36-hour stream that's going to go from noon until midnight, October 24th into the 25th. So actually all the way into the 26th, to be honest. So, all right. Is there anyone else here? Okay. So here's the other thing. And let's just get this out of the way. You know this guy. He is in here. Not all the time, but he's in here a lot. He's a good friend of mine. He has been a huge supporter of the channel. He's a supporter of so many other people, and that is Krusty Old Crow. Krusty Old Crow right now is sitting at 996 subs. Now, as someone who can remember sitting, waiting to drop my daughter off, looking at everything over and over and over, going, oh my God, look, and you'd hit 993 subs, and then you drop down to 990. Please, if you haven't yet, he needs 4 subs to hit that 1,000 or that 1,000 mark, and then he'll probably hit monetize. Please, 4 people. It's not that hard. I know there's got to be 4 of you that probably have not hit sub. Go over and check out and make sure 58 people watching. I'm going to push it all night until he hits that 1,000. And if we don't hit that 1,000, then I'm not going to do a show next week. I can't say that. I really can't. But you guys kind of got the gist of it, right? Man, why is this not updating? So please head on over there, hit the 1,000. I know I'm asking a lot from you guys. 999 subs. Come on, there's got to be one person that hasn't subbed to Krusty Old Crow. Dude, seriously, the guy's calling himself Krusty and Old and a Crow. What else could you want? All right. 58 people watching. Please hit that like button. Look at this. Allison Troy, who I will be, she will be on the Punkathon also for us to do some coloring. I think we might be doing Moss Man. That's kind of the idea that I had. So anyway, and what is this? Slime Bones Lego Star Wars channel. Thank you very much. That is all we're asking. It's just a way to support this community, and God knows we all need it, right? And it's also 1,000. So I can claim victory on now 2 more channels that I've made hit 1,000. Not that I pat myself on the back for anything like that. Okay. So quickly, 6'10" Yojo Daddy says 6'10" is just my height, which I heard about. Was going with just Daddy because I've been a full custody dad for over. Hold on, let's start over. I got the Lions game on, so I'm just a little. 6'10" is just my height, which I heard. Was going with just Daddy because I've been full custody dad of 3 for over 14 years. Mom is not in the picture, and I threw in Yojo because I love Joe above all. I was just wondering why it's in the parentheses. That's what. Why is Yojo in the parentheses? I guess that's my question more than anything. That's what I was trying to ask. Anyway, Crow, please, right now, go and hit subscribe, or not subscribe, monetize, get it all done. make some money, because you know what? Somebody's making money off you. It's called Google, and they have enough money. So make sure you get money from your own stuff, right? So GI Jetman jumping in here saying, "Hey, Punk and chat." All right. So let me say thank you, a huge thank you to Stephanie Shortcake. All right. If you haven't watched my Thursday with a Friend last week, please go do it. She is awesome. I do these classic reviews, and I think most of you know. I mean, I dropped the Mauler. I dropped Heavy Metal, and I can't believe Heavy Metal did as well as he did yesterday. But she always makes comments, always, and and just not like, hey, great video, whatever. She has stories, and I finally reached out to her. I said, hey, can you reach out to me? Shall I say? In a comment, I responded, and so we kind of went back and forth. She's in bed by like 9, she said. She wakes up early for work or whatever. And I was just like, hey, would you like to come on? She worked some stuff out. So I was so gracious to finally have her on. Again, you make these wonderful connections with people. And again, she was just one of the ones that I wanted to reach out to. And this is what I say, like, Thursday with a Friend is about bringing on people that have supported me, not the big YouTuber, not, so I can get popular or I can get, their stuff. I want people that have supported me, because that's really what this whole community is supposed to be about, right? So anyway, thank you to Stephanie. And this week I will have Rec Ship on. Now, this is going to be my last Thursday with the Friend until November. I decided, due to the Punkathon and me having to go to Ohio, which I hate Ohio, for training for a week. I said, you know what? This is the perfect time to just kind of take a month off of Thursday with the Friend, rather than try and do a bunch of recordings with them, and just take it off, refresh, come back. I now have a few more people that I want to ask to come on, and I'm looking forward to it. So, all right. Jay Astro has jumped in. And then I saw Backwoods 78. Woo! All right. And then give me 1 second here. All right. So let me see. I'm trying to go through all of this stuff here. We've already got ourselves up to 1,000 on the two channels that I wanted to. So thank you very much. All right. I'm going to take a drink. And we're going to talk about some stuff. All right. So I took last week off. And it really has nothing to do with anything that happened. There wasn't a lot going on. I do a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff you don't see. And it really, no one cares. They just want to be entertained. That's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's about entertainment. So you don't care how much time it takes. But to do this show, not only do I spend 3.5, 4 hours here in this seat, I also have to write down what I want to talk about on the monologue before I start. But I also spend 2, 3, maybe 4 hours sometimes if there's a lot of news on a Sunday. And that cuts into my time around the house, time with my family, time to create other videos, time skateboarding, whatever, right? So I just decided, hey, I needed a day off. And it just happened to come around a little bit of controversy. So what a lot of people don't realize is that through lives, I make very little on this. I could support the toy habit through all the videos that I create, the reviews, if I did history videos, different things like that. I don't beg for super chats. I don't ask for super chats. I don't push the merch like I probably should, like other people do, because I do this because I really do enjoy it, but it takes up a lot of my time. On top of that, I'm constantly doing stuff with the TV terminal. And when there's 2 or 3 episodes that drop at once and we have to fill that in, or there's an overlap where we have one show that's ending and we're starting 2 shows, that's, again, the way we record that is we watch it together and then we instantly go right into talking about it. All right. So there's a lot of time that comes into that. JLS comments jumping in here and says, well, Well, that's a well-earned break. You've been very consistent for a while with the series. Yes. Thank you. And Sean Jones jumping in here. Hopefully by Christmas, I'll get my snake armor. Yeah, I heard it's starting to charge, so now I got to start reaching out to people to see if I can get one. And then Tripwire jumping in here. Whew. Okay. So I do a lot of stuff like that. When it comes to this show, I don't think you're gonna find more people in this realm in our community that are more consistent than I am, whether it be with Thursday with a friend or whether it be especially with this show. I've missed so few days. And I just had so much going on. And like I said, it's the summer and I want to be out and do some stuff and just be outside. And I had a lot of stuff to do around the house. So I decided, hey, I need to take a break. And like I said, I don't, I don't push the channel membership all that much because it's hard for me to give a lot. I do everything. You basically guys get everything out. I don't like hiding, like keeping stuff behind a paywall. So the people that are channel members, I try and do some stuff, all that stuff. It supports the people. People know this. This all cost. The reason why I tell you this is because two Thursdays ago. Okay, hey, Eric Thurman right here. Member for 17 months. Where is it? And I got it right here. Hey.
Fucking Phil Collins.
That's what you get. All right. So two Thursdays ago, when I had Derek Hoover on, there was some controversy that came up with somebody that was in the chat. And it's something that she said on her channel. And I don't talk politics. I don't talk religion. I don't talk that type of stuff. And there's a reason for it. It wasn't brought up here, so I did not talk about it. I'm not going to kick her out, whether I agree or disagree. Her and I had a nice long conversation about how I didn't agree with what she said. But last time I checked, there is this thing called freedom of speech. And then there were some people that were very upset about it. And that's fine. You're allowed to be upset. And if you're upset and you want to leave the channel because you don't agree with it, then that's fine. I actually have respect if you said, hey, you know what? I don't want to be here. When you start telling me how to run my channel, that's when I have a problem. I have spent more than enough time in here. I've put up with enough shit from anyone. Probably more shit from my channel or from my chat than probably anyone else. No one's going to tell me how to run my channel or how to run my channel, who I should and shouldn't have on or let in there. If you are not a known, let's say, PDF file, you're not a known crapist is, I think, the term that we can use. You're not accused of unaliving someone, then I don't really care what you say, as long as you don't bring it to my channel. And if that's a problem for some people, that is fine. You are allowed to say, you know what? I don't agree that you're going to let someone come on here and talk toys in the chat. I'm not going to be, and that's fine. I actually have respect that, hey, you know what? You stand by your convictions. But how many fucking people have fucked me over? And I've never once told someone that they shouldn't go fucking over there and talk to them. They shouldn't be in their chat. Never once. I don't need to tell you guys who I like and who I don't like. It's well apparent who I am. But you also know that a lot of the people that I'm associated with, a lot of my good friends, still are friends with them. Still go to their chats. Still go on shows with them. I don't get mad about it. It doesn't bother me. You know what I do when shows have someone on that I don't like? I don't go in there. When Hella Dope Toys has someone on that I don't like, I don't go in there. When I'm in someone's chat and there's someone on that I don't like, I don't go in and attack them. I do not walk into somebody's fucking house, see someone in their living room, and start a fight with them because I have no respect for that person. So don't do it to me. I'm just going to fucking ban you. I don't give a shit. That's what my moderators are for. All right. I'm going to say this. I will support Hella Dope Toys, Ted and Aaron, till the last day, till their last day that company is open. You know why? Because at the beginning of 2024, I was asked to be the first guest on. And I said, sure, awesome, sounds good. We have a friendship. We've met in person, we've hung out. And Ted told me that he had numerous people contact him and say, you know what? There are people that are not going to be happy you're having Punk on. They're not happy you're having Lawrence on. And you know what he told them? No one is going to tell me who I can and can't have on my own fucking channel. And I have so much respect for that because I know that I can be a lightning rod. I know not everyone likes me, and that's fine. I have said before, I'm not a person that feels the need to have everyone like me. I don't need to be liked by everyone, and I don't need to like everyone. On the playground, we didn't play with the kids we didn't like. Sometimes that was hurtful to some. Sometimes it might have been hurtful to you. But it's fine. We can all exist. And that is why you will see me support them and push their company as much as I can. And it sucks that maybe some people walked away because of my belief of free speech. And free speech, again, does have consequences. Free speech has never been, free speech does not mean that you're free from consequences. The fact of the matter is, if it's not brought up here, if it's not brought into my house, then I'm not going to have a problem with it. So I wanted to address that. I did not take Monday off because of that. I think some people might have thought that. But the fact of the matter is, I just needed the day off. And whether or not that would have happened on Thursday, and Derek, you don't need to apologize. You were the guest. You were the guest in my house. So you don't need to apologize. Okay? So I just needed to say that. I just wanted to get that out there. That as long as you're not bringing shit in here, and I mean, I don't know how many times I've said I don't talk politics. I don't talk religion. I don't get into that political realm. Hell, I think that with my attitude, the way that I am, as boisterous as I am and as polarizing as I could be, I would probably do much, much better doing a political channel on one side or the other. And here's another thing. None of you guys know where my political fucking beliefs are. That's the craziest thing. None of you do. And you know why? Because as Michael Jordan once said, or I don't even know if he fucking said it. It's rumored he said it. Is he said Republicans buy shoes too. Well, last time I checked, conservatives and liberals both collect toys and they both watch this show. So I'm going to leave it there. If someone has a problem with that, then they're more than welcome to leave. And I hate to have anyone leave, but the fact of the matter is, no one's going to tell me how I should and shouldn't run my channel, who I should allow on here. I will make those decisions. Just like I have never told any of my fucking friends, don't go on that guy's show. Did you hear what that guy said about me? Did you hear what that guy said? Fuck that. That is the biggest crock of shit that I've ever heard. I mean, I probably heard worse, but you guys got to get it. JLS Comics, we can discuss bad religion, as I have had numerous people in the comments over the years of doing this make comments about me wearing a bad religion shirt and that I probably shouldn't, which to me, I went, hey, dude, seriously, it's a band. And it was probably, actually, it was meant to offend people back in 78 or 79 when they created that logo. Stu for lunch jumping in here saying, howdy punk to all the punkettes in the chat room. Great to have you here, Stu for lunch. But anyway, again, I needed to address it. So, Eric Thurman says, don't try it, Anakin. Punk's got the high ground. Clint Jorgensen says, Punk, I always pegged you as a Whig or member of the Bull Moose Party. You never know. You never know. Like I said, again, I know where most of you guys stand. Again, like I know where the majority of you stand. And you know what? I don't care. I don't agree with all of you. And I don't agree with everyone on either side of the party. I'll tell you something. This is as far as I get when it comes to politics. None of them give a shit about you. Not the Democrats, not the Republicans, not the conservatives, not the liberals. They don't give a shit about you unless it lines their pocketbooks. If it doesn't make them look better, then guess what? They don't care about you. I'm just saying. Whew. Anyway, felt good to get that off my chest. I didn't even yell and scream. I don't even think I raised my blood pressure. So, all right. Cresty says, I worry about who agrees with me sometimes. I'm with you there. Sometimes you see someone that agrees with you and you go, do I have to rethink my stance? Do I have to rethink what I was saying? Action figure, you're allowed to be. And that's the whole point. You're allowed to be, right? As long as it's not taking place in my house, right? And that's all that I'm saying. Again, I see it. I see it on Facebook. I see it on YouTube. And again, it doesn't belong here in my house talking about toys. And I think most would agree with that. Not all, obviously. And there's people that want to talk it. And I walk the fine line of wanting to grow a channel as toys. And that's what I've done. And again, the amount of shit that I put up with, and again, these are my friends. I can dish it out, so I better be able to take it. But the amount of shit that I put up with, and like I said, the little I make doing live streams, I mean, I'd probably be better off just doing reviews and talking about old stuff. It's just doing pre-recorded stuff like so many other people. But I don't, because I like being here. I like being part of the community that has brought so many people together. I'm no better and no worse than anyone else, but I do feel I'm very self-aware that through this channel, I brought a lot of people together, whether people going to Joe Fest, channels that have started because they met through here. I love it. I absolutely love it, bud. So, Todd C quickly says 3D printing will replace traditional toys after we're dead, since no one else is going around wanting to buy traditional toys. Well, we'll talk about that at the end of the show. We'll see. I'm not so sure I agree with that. But hey, we're all allowed to have our own opinions, are we not? So, all right. On to next month. Now, I told you I don't beg for super chats. I don't beg for money on this. Okay, I allow YouTube to pay me what they think is right, which is not a lot. I allow YouTube to pay me what I'm making through my reviews and I guess a little bit here. And again, the small stuff that I get. And Amazon, when you guys use those links, Entertainment Earth, anything like that. But October 24th and 26th, I will be begging for super chats. That is one day that 2 days I will. And the reason for that is the Punkathon, which I hate that name. Fuck all of you for giving it that. um so last year, I actually wanted to do this 2 years ago. I wasn't ready. I did it last year. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. It is something that it takes. You have to be mentally prepared. So for 36 hours plus, I will be doing a streamathon, a punkathon, I guess is what you say. And what we're looking at is every super chat that I get, anything that any of my videos, my whole YouTube channel makes, any memberships, anything that I make during those 3 days, and that is Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday, so all day Sunday, it all goes to Toys for Tots here in Michigan, sponsored by Sergeant Reds, who will give us the toys at a discount, pretty much at cost. Now, this is not old stuff. This isn't Power of the Force. This is all new stuff they have to get, right? But because YouTube takes out such a cut, I also said, if you trust me, and I hope you can, because believe me, for me to be granted like $2,000 or $3,000 if I'm lucky through PayPal, and then bolt and ruin my fucking channel, that would be just idiotic. So if you want to avoid everything that that YouTube's going to take, I also will give out my PayPal account. That all goes into it, and that's just pure profit that goes right into the Punkathon. All for Toys for Tots. And quickly, Plastic Fantastic says, bullshit, Larry makes me pay to sub to his channel. I can't do it any other way, but you do get a
Fucking Phil Collins.
And you're also going to get a That's a punch. That's a punch for being mean. And all right, so quickly, Jake Anderson, I gotta ask you a question. After leaving work today, I drove by your work. How long? It's open now. How long did they have that little stretch of road in front of your place down to one lane, where I couldn't cross from Maple over to Big Beaver Road? I'm glad it finally opened. I was like, if it's not open yet, I'm going to be really pissed off. If you don't know, he works right down the street from my work. He actually lives pretty close to me. So Gun Bunny Customs jumping in here saying, good evening, everyone. I still have those AKs for you. I promise I will send out. I was looking at them this weekend. They're yours. They're sitting in a baggie. I am awful with that stuff. So Josh, they're coming to you, I promise. But anyway, that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to have loads of guests on. I'm going to have different shows on throughout this whole Punkathon. I will be on the majority of the time. If everything works out, I will be taking off, I believe, at 6 a.m., probably about 6 to 10, just so I can get a little bit of sleep, refresh, probably run out to McDonald's, clean my system out after that. You know how that goes. You got to refresh, right? You got to take that shower, but we will still have it on. We also have to break this up into 4 different episodes. That's because if you go over 12 hours of a live, it gets hidden. And it absolutely sucks. So Oz found this out from doing something. So we're going to break it down to 4. That's what we did last year. All right. And Jake Anderson jumping in here, a member for 19 months.
Fucking Phil Collins.
And you know what? That's a big thank you. It's huge. Like, seriously, a 99-cent super chat, when it starts adding up, and I tell everyone, when everyone starts their, I know I'm off. When everyone starts when they finally get to do channel memberships, I know people get upset that why isn't so and so, a member? And it's like you understand, like if that 99 cent goes to me, and then there's Allison, and then you go to Gun Bunny, and then you go to Tony's Figs. Eventually, that 99 cents is for one person. Now you're spending $50 to support every single person that you want, so or that you like. So you definitely have to just kind of watch it. MCR says YouTube takes 33%. They take 30%. They take 30%. I agree. YouTube should take a percentage. I think 30% for a super chat is bullshit. 10% I think would be more ideal because they're technically giving it. I mean, if you give me a super chat, you're saying, "Hey, I like what you're doing. I want to support you." No one has ever said, "Hey, here's a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, YouTube, for allowing this guy to come into my living room and entertain me." Mr. Wonderful jumping in here saying, "Oh, it's my favorite Monday night streamer." I hope so. Yeah, so they take 30%. There's more to it than that. Just so you know, and anyone that becomes a new anyone that becomes anyone that gets monetized and they get their first super chat, and let's say it's for $10. So you would assume like, hey, it's $10 super chat. You go and you look, and all of a sudden you realize, like, you look at how much you made on that episode, and it says like $6, and you're like, wait a minute, I got a $10 super chat. How did I make $6 when they take 30% out? It should be $7, and then plus whatever whatever the monetization is. Well, here's the thing: from what my research that I could find out is that if you send a super chat, I shouldn't tell this because this makes people not want to send super chats. I mean, so if you're sending from New York, not only does YouTube take their percentage, then the state of New York says, "Whoa, wait a minute. Well, we have taxes too," and they take their taxes off it. And then the state of Michigan, because it's coming to me, the state of Michigan says, "Whoa, whoa, 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 we want our taxes too." So that $10 super chat, which should be $7, now has gone down. But don't worry, because at the end of the year, the federal government says, "Hey, did you make over $600 on YouTube? Well, we need our cut too." It's the biggest crock of shit that the states are taking these cuts. It's their tips. It's again, I could go on and on about that shit. And I know I have before. But anyway, going back to the whole Punkathon, Toys for Tots marathon, we made $3,025 last year. The channel has immensely grown since then. We regularly have over 100 people watching. Right now, we have 79. There's no reason why we shouldn't hit 4,000. Then again, this is what the total was after everything was done. So I believe on YouTube, I brought in like either 16 or 1800 from super chats, channel memberships, and anything else. The rest came from PayPal, and I will update that. That I can tell you right away because my PayPal account will be zero. So there are some people that donated huge amounts, $100, well over $100 directly to the PayPal. And again, this is the receipt of all the toys that we bought last year. I want this to be bigger. I don't want to sit here for 36 hours, over 36 hours. Actually, I don't think I left till like 2 a.m. I don't want to sit here till, for over 36 hours and not make as much as we did the year before. Again, this is for kids, not for my kids, not for kids that don't need. These are for kids in need. So please, if you can, that is the only time you're going to see me begging for super chats. All right. Now, I don't mind if you want to send them. You can send them anytime, other time. I don't really mind. I don't say no. That's for sure. But that's the plan. Probably next week, I'll probably get a little bit more into it and maybe show off exactly the. Hopefully, I'll have the thumbnail completely done. I'm not sure if Oz has finished it. I think you're gonna like it. It's very punk with toys, I guess you could say. I think it's a very punk with toys. So I think you guys are going to enjoy it. But I do got to start getting that all up and running. I want you guys to be involved. And again, I have a lot of good guests coming on, a lot of good shows that are going to come on, and people are going to be able to come on. So if you've ever just wanted to jump on the show, this is going to be your time to say, hey, can you shoot me a link? And again, as long as you're not a complete asshole, I won't boot you. I mean, again, why would anyone be an asshole when you're trying to raise money for children? But we've seen it before in life, right? When is Punk? I don't think. Or when is Punk Aid? That would have been a pretty good one. It is October 24th and 26th. So it's Friday. So it's at noon on Friday. It goes to midnight on Saturday. But Ed will have the controls. I will stick around as long as I can. I'm off that Monday, so I will have time to recuperate. But anything that's made, so all through Oz's clubhouse, any super chats that come in, if people do super stickers, I know there's super stickers, super thanks, even on Sunday, anything that's made throughout those 3 days, it goes directly to what you guys, or again, you guys will all have my PayPal. So if you're still donating, or even if on Monday, someone hits me up and says, hey, I totally missed it. I want to send you $5-10. Can I just send it to you? Yeah. I mean, it's going to take time. And the reason why I do it in October is because we don't get paid. YouTube doesn't pay out to the end of November. And that's when Toys for Tots has to do the collection. So it's just to make sure everything kind of works together. All right. Joe RH says, I wish people weren't assholes, but there they are every day. You're absolutely correct. Hey, and I'd be lying if I said I was never an asshole. I'm definitely, people have definitely thought of me as an asshole before. And that's fine. Okay, first off, if you think that I thought Punkapalooza was awful, I would never do Punkchella. Although it has a ring to it. Again, save your super chats or save some money. Again, I have over 7,000 subs, man. If everyone sent $99 super chat or 99 cents super chat, we would easily break the 3,000 mark, which is what I'm definitely hoping. So burning Punk would be if I am going to take the money and run, right? Now if I said, hey, we're changing the name, it's called Burning Punk, that right there is telling you, hey, this guy's going to take the money and just fucking bolt and say fuck the kids. Oh, and let me start right now by just saying this, because I know this really bothers a lot of people. If you don't donate even 99 cents, why do you hate the kids? Why do you hate the kids so much that you can't donate 99 cents? I'm just going to say it. And yes, there were people pissed off that I said that. Just saying. I got messages from people upset. Dude, I don't think it's cool that you said that, man. Some of us donate in other ways. Oh my God. Do you want me to go off on you over fucking charity? Because you didn't need to say anything. And if you don't get my sense of humor, it's probably the wrong channel for you. Just saying. Kenzo says, I have to give it all to my own kid. Hey, this is every time I mean this every time that I go through Taco Bell and they say, would you donate? Would you like to round that up to donate to kids going to college? I want to say, hey, do you want to round down to support my kid going to college? How about that? And 3-star, yep, 277 incoming. But again, you don't send just 277. You send it throughout the whole show, and I appreciate it. But again, like, if you can afford it, if you can't, again, I'm not going to. When it comes to this, I'm not going to criticize anyone because not everyone. There's people that they watch for free, they can't afford it, and that's perfectly fine. But if you can afford 99 cents, $5 for kids, and again, it's kids in Detroit, or Detroit area, I appreciate it. That's all that I'm saying. Whew. All right. As for my sponsors, you know who they are. There's Hella Dope Toys. Look at this. I actually have a banner. I had to go and fix the banner. Look at this. Use Hella Dope Toys. Use the code APWT. A matter of fact, I got to get with Ted because they have a lot of overstock. A lot of stuff they have to get rid of. And I told him, like, hey, dude, let's do this. You want to do a sale? Let's do it. I will promote it. I have, anywhere from 70 to 100 people watching. Let's get rid of some of the shit so you can get new stuff in, right? Times are hard. People want to get rid of, want to buy stuff, but they want it at a discount. This is the reason why certain things like stingers are $50 because people don't want to spend $100 on vehicles. Anyway, there you go. There's some of this stuff. Again, if you want to support, I'd appreciate it. So anyway, you guys all know Hella Dope Toys. I hate banners. I hate seeing them. Again, Hella Dope Toys. Use code APWT. Entertainment Earth, where you can, I believe. Well, actually, I think they finally sold out on the police officers. Wasn't that fun? That nice little drop there, the police officers. We'll talk about that when we get to GI Joe. Anyway, let's get to it. But before we do, let's hear from our sponsors. That company I was just talking about.
Oh, hey guys. So Lawrence, he had to step away for a little bit. He's got a case of the grumble duff. So he asked me to kind of watch over a stream. He put me in charge of y'all. He said to me, "Oh, Moss Man, I have a case of the grumble dust, and I need you to watch myself for a little bit so nobody leaves and finds out that there's more interesting things to watch on YouTube. And also, I hate Ohio." So I was like, oh, dang, so now I have to come up with a topic for my very own show. And I was like, oh, what about talking about your favorite toy stores? So my favorite toy store is HellaDopeToys.com. So they used to have this really bad website. It used to look real scammy. Like if I gave them money, they were going to go spend it on like blow and hookers. But now their website is really nice. And like I can just go in and do like 1-2 click. And then my order's placed. And they ship super fast, guys. They ship everything in 1 business day. So like I get all my toys first. So when I'm out there on the playground and all my friends are like, oh, dang, Moss Man, where'd you get that action figure? I still have to wait 17 months for mine. And I'm just like, well, I went to HellaDopeToys.com and I just pushed the buttons and then they shipped it out to me. And the packaging is so nice, guys. Like, I opened up the box. I thought, oh, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this kind of packaging. It's so nice. But then my trash can gets full because of all the packing stuff. And I was just like, oh, dang, I just changed the trash. But now I gotta change the trash again. Oh, you're right, Matthew Matson. You can use the code APWT at HellaDopeToys.com and save 10% on your order. So how that works is, so you're gonna save 10%, and then a Punk with Toys, he has to pay that 10% that y'all saved. So if you don't like Lawrence, you can just go to HellaDopeToys.com and just buy a bunch of stuff and rack up his bill. So then like at the end of the month, they're like, Hella Dope Toys is like, oh, Lawrence, you owe us $1 million because of all the 10% codes that everybody used. And yeah, that's how that works. Okay, guys, so it looks like it's time for me to go now. So make sure you go to HellaDopeToys.com and like and subscribe. And then in the comments, put what your favorite toy store is. But if it's not helloguptoys.com, I'm probably just going to delete it, okay? So, all right, guys, bye!
All right, so I kind of messed around and I gave him his own little seat. And as long as he's gonna be riding the polar bear, I think it's better for the polar bear. I know, oh Tony, look, oh no, look, I got a saddle now, so the polar bear is not as angry. He's not angry at me. He's gonna be angry at you for not liking me. I don't know why you don't like me, Tony. Look at me. I'm nice. I'm nice. But I'm gonna come to Joe Fest and I'm gonna say hi to you. We're gonna take pictures together, and then Punk's gonna post them. Anyway, Cooter's Garage has jumped in here, and I know we saw Nolan. I know I didn't say Nolan earlier, but we'll say him right here, saying he makes us Toy Tube official. So I did quickly see somebody say that Bill K said, I'm so tempted to get a Stinger $50, but I have to. You and me both. You and me both. I've been trying to find a reason to justify it. And I think it's good through Wednesday. It's tempting. It's $50. What can I do with it? As you keep going back and forth, back and forth. I really do want another one because I have an idea. Just whether or not I'll get around to doing it. Largo's Lair jumping in and saying, greetings from the Lair. 3D printing has made lots of advancements, but it still has a long way to go for durability, quality. Love you, Lawrence. I agree with you 100%. And we're definitely going to get into that once we get past the toy talk. So look at this here. Masters of the Universe. It was like Mossman knew what we were going to talk about. And there's really not much to talk about. Other than is this a snake layer? I forget what it is available at BBTS. And it's here. If people wanted it, if I remember correctly, this is the one. Is this the one that people complained about? I can't remember what people complained about so much that they went and changed it. But if you are interested in this, if you are a Motu fan, this is available. This is the Fright Zone, not the snake. The snake layer is the other thing that went up for the crowd fund, right? That's the one that kind of got pushed back. That's the one where they have Mossman, unfortunately, always tied up in everything. It's just funny. That happened to be Mossman. Graf jumping in here saying, finally, some Motu made it just in time. Well, you say that. That means you better be buying this from BBTS, right? But anyway, here we are. This is cool. I think everyone would love to have the little creature. How about this creature versus... imagine that creature versus the polar bear and Mossman. Now that's a battle. That being an epic stop motion battle that somebody could do. Kenzo, why don't you do that? Why don't you create a stop motion battle? Because I'm sure you're getting this if you haven't yet. But here we have the little creature. Again, all the horde weapons, the crossbow. I do love the fact that they just decided, like, hey, you know what? The crossbow is it's made for all the horde troopers. Kenzo says he's a lot bigger than you think, Punk. Yeah, so smaller people can still fight, and it's 2-on-1. It's 2-on-1. How big is he? Is he bigger than like Battle? Like how much bigger than like Battle Cat is he? But it's cool. It's a nice play set. It's got a little tree with a face on it with some crows. This is actually pretty cool, to be honest. Okay, well, stop motion. You can do it. So here you go. Everything that you're going to get with it. And I'm surprised people don't just buy it for the crows. This is something I could definitely see, like the stingers that will eventually be on sale on BBTS. Graf says the tree is excited to be in here tonight. He's like, I've never had a stage like this for everyone to see me. um, but yeah, and okay, so look at this picture. Um, tell me if anyone else sees this, but I was like kind of flipping through this, and I went, does this not give you vibes of when the Predator is going after Dutch, and he's like hiding. He's like, "Come on, come on!" And he looks up and he sees all the booby traps that he set up. That's what I looked at. I was like, "Dude, this is the Predator." Like looking through it, there's the booby traps, and he's gonna go around it. I don't know why, but it was just like the vibe that I got with that big head hanging out and everything. So, tell me if you see it too, because I forgot until I'm like, man, what did I say this was going to remind me of? And as soon as I saw it, I went, yep, I remembered. Hold on quickly. Kenzo sent me a side by side with Battle Cat, I think. Except for I don't know where he sent it. Where the hell did you send that, Kenzo? Oh, you sent it to my Facebook. Oh, they're about the same size. Especially you got Mossman. Mossman is riding the polar bear. And the polar bear's about the same size as Battle Cat. I didn't see it on IG. That's why I was asking. I think I can see Chris. But yeah. So there you go. And then we have, oh yeah, I forgot I didn't break them up into slides this time. Then we have McFarlane Toys. That's just I know everyone has been waiting for McFarlane Toys, so we'll just give you the. So we have the Super Friends, and it looks like if you are interested in this before he loses the line, you are going to get the Wonder Twins. And no telling if one comes with water, as that would be what he turns into. But why does Superman have a air puffer? To like, isn't that what Superman has? Is that an air puffer to like to fan a fireplace? But there's McFarlane, the Super Friends. Again, this is going to be long gone, guys. This is going to be long gone soon. So, oh, it's Bizarro. Oh yeah, I guess it is. Thank you, Jet Man. Again, dude, what do you want me to say? You guys know all about this, right? But yeah, I can't find anything. Here it is.
I don't go through all the graphics before the show.
Well, what is that then? I mean, it looks like one of those air puffers. Listen, I got new glasses. They don't work that well. Anyway, and then we're going to get the MonsterVerse, and you're going to get Godzilla versus Wonder Woman if you are interested. I don't know if they showed any more of these pictures off. I'm assuming this is going to be like the King Kong versus was it the Flash? I think that he was up against something like that. I think Todd is going to get as much out of this DC license as possible, and I don't blame him. I mean, I think I would too. This guy, he has all these molds. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do with them. Is he going to send them over to? Is he going to send them over to Mattel, and Mattel's going to go, we don't want this crap? And have we even seen any of the? We haven't even seen what Mattel's going to do yet, and here we are, almost in October, and they get the license starting in January. So, uh, I'm really interested to see what they're going to be doing. Um, Liquid Identity 101. Did you say I had the 101? I don't remember that saying. Toddy Mac pumping out more dog shit to add to the plastic pile. Well, he's got to get rid of it somewhere, right? Oh, it was King Kong versus Batman. Thank you. And then we have more page punchers. Now, I think one of the most infuriating things when it comes to this is that Todd McFarlane can do all soft goods, but Marvel Legends doesn't. I'm not going to say can't, that they don't do it. And this is where you're like, come on. If Toddy Mac can do it, if Uncle Todd can do it, why can't all of Marvel Legends? They all should be at this point. But yeah. Well, B says, I wish Joe Page punches had some articulation. Well, that's because they did the little tiny figures, but I agree with you. You know that he was trying to make those in 7-inch form. Allison says, Todd, we've got 72 new Batman, 36 more Joker, 17 Robins, 3 with the wrong cape, 14 Batwings, and a box of Kleenex dubbed Bat Ass Receptacle. I think it was supposed to be Bat Ass. I don't know. And B's Battleground says, and we're starting to see more and more soft goods with Hasbro figures. Black Series and Joe's are starting to get some. And you're absolutely correct. G.I. Joe is. And again, they could easily say, hey, well, we own the license. But we know that Star Wars, they're starting to do it. And God knows there's a lot of capes and different things like that in Marvel. And they have... oh, okay. All right, Allison. But yeah, like the Marvel Legends, like they have the articulation. They're the ones that need the soft goods. They look so much better, and obviously, if Toddy Mac can do them, so can Marvel Legends. So, anyway, that's it for Page Puncher. Oh, I guess maybe not. I do think this Joker looks pretty good, and I do like the purple trench coat, and it looks short enough that you might be able to fudge it onto a 6-inch figure. You might have to trim it up a little bit, but I bet you could get that to fit on a 6-inch figure. I don't know who needs a purple coat. Maybe Dr. Mindbender. Then here's the back of it. But then we get Superman with his nice cape. And look at those giant pins. Will anyone be sad to see the end of pins in DC? Tony doesn't count because he hates Mossman and diversity. So, but yeah, the giant pins. And then here's the back of his cape with his nice flowing locks. Who doesn't love those flowing locks right there, right? Now this one is unique. This one is unique, okay? So he's doing a crowdfunder for the Suicide Squad. And it's like, you are at the end of doing this. Like, normally a company, when they are done with a line or a license, and I'm not just talking about toys, I'm talking about anything, they are not producing as much stuff. Not Todd. Todd is like, they're going to be dragging him out of Warner Brothers or wherever DC is their headquarters is located. They're going to be dragging him out, kicking and screaming, no, I have another Batman to do. So there's a crowdfund for a Harley Quinn for the Suicide Squad. And now I do understand why they did this. Even though I think these movies are awful, the first Suicide Squad is bad, and I don't like the second one either. I'll just say it. But if you want a Harley Quinn, and again, who doesn't love the actress that plays her? Um, but this is what you get. If you hit the next tier, you get all of this. All right. This is everything that I guess it leads up to. I really didn't pay attention to absolutely everything, to be 100% honest. As there's, again, I don't know who's going to buy it. I don't know if this thing's ever going to hit, but you're going to get more. And you see he's doing the gun. So I would assume it means Warner Brothers has completely lifted the no more guns thing. But anyway, here's all the stuff that you can kind of see here that you're going to get. And quickly, we have Slimebone Legos channel became a channel member. So you know what? That means you're going to get a
Welcome to the Creamery.
And to all the people who don't know what that is the Creamery. And I believe that was coined by Allison, saying welcome to the Creamery, because if you have channel members, someone tried to say we are milking, or I am milking, or anyone actually is milking their fans. And that is my daughter saying welcome to the Creamery. Because believe it or not, it was really hard to find a sound bit of someone saying welcome to the Creamery, because why would anyone have a reason to say that, or fucking Phil Collins? So it doesn't always come back to you. Good Lord. I mean, that ego's getting kind of big. I think your ego's writing checks, or what? You're writing checks your ego can't cash, something like that. It was from a Tom Cruise movie. So anyway, here's level 2. Level 3 is the Joker, because who doesn't want a fucking Jared Leto Joker? But again, this guy is going to, and I don't blame him in many ways. It's just not something you normally see. Normally people are just done, right? They're not going to use them. They're going to transition. I don't think he's done a really good job of transitioning to whatever he's going to be pushing out. Because I don't even know what other I mean, I know he has a lot of other properties, but he doesn't have anything even close to this scale. Not even close. So that's it. Thank you very much. Your ego's writing checks your body can't cash. Anyway. And then in level 4, this is a bold move. This is a bold move, Cotton. That's a bold move. Level 4 is a repaint of the figure you just backed. I guess one could say that people that backed the Hiss for the HasLab, they got a repainted Hiss driver, which would be true, but technically you were backing the Hiss. You're backing a Harley Quinn, and for the 4th level, they're going to give you a repaint. Not even a different mold. A fully exact same one, painted a bit differently. And yeah, like, that's a bold move, Cotton. That's a bold move. Why not Jokerize? That is a damn good question. Everything should be Jokerized at some point. Would we all not agree? Look what Eden says, but the second tier is kind of all good. Then it goes downhill fast. Well, I'm with you. And frankly, I would rather have this set. I'd rather have the repainted Harley Quinn than the Jared Leto Joker. That's just the whole. I'd rather have that. Oh, it's her away jersey. Okay. I just again like these are the types of things I think most of us go, all right, this is why you lost the DC license. I think we all can agree with that, right? All right. So I threw these in here because they sold out really quick. And I know what a lot of people have been saying. Why are you doing such good sculpts right now when you're at the end of the light at the end of the line? The license is over, right? And his stuff has always been hit or miss. I know I've discussed this numerous times. His stuff has been hit or miss. A lot of his newer stuff has been awesome. So this is from Batman Returns, and they said they fixed the cowl. Well, not they, but people have seen it. They said they fixed the cowl. You really see the Keaton face underneath it. Again, I think this looks pretty damn good, and all this stuff sold out. Like this sold out quickly. We got Viper Scout jumping in here saying, "Hey all," but let's see. Largo says, "Has anyone checked on old Toddy? Is he taking his meds? Some of his choices for figure exclusives seem bonkers." No, that's just that's on par for the course, man. If they actually made sense, that's when you want to check on him and make sure he's taking his meds. But yeah, I think this looks really good. It doesn't fit in anything that I'm going to use. I think that I'd rather spend money on, let's say, something like, I hate to even say that I'd buy Mevco right now because they still have left a very sore spot with me due to the whole Rumbler situation. But I'd rather spend money on a high-end figure that is 6-inch scale, so it can go up against Captain America or be with Captain America. And not Mezco, Mattel, if you are listening, please, we want these figures to be 6-inch form, 6-inch scale. Here's the back of it. Again, soft goods. Make sure you do that soft goods. But hey, you know what? You've done a lot of soft goods with the Masters of the Universe, so I'm assuming you're going to do soft goods also. But here's everything. And you get the nice little card. You get like the worst stand ever. Couple pairs, an extra set of hands, your batarang, and then your grappling gun. And here he is in a very awkward. I'm sorry, his figures, man. They do not look good in poses. And then here's the deluxe theatrical edition. There's the that's what it's going to look like if you do find it. All right, here's Catwoman. I have a feeling people were waiting for it. Tony says, "Why is that cape so short?" So you can put it on your 6-inch Mattel Batman when you can. So here is our. Why can't I think of her name? Your Catwoman. What the hell? What was Catwoman's name? I can't remember what her name was. Someone please fill me in. It's like right there too. Highest Me says Punk just wants a Batman that can be with Captain America. Let him live the dream. Michelle Pfeiffer, yes. Yeah, I was not looking for Selena Kyle. I was looking for Michelle Pfeiffer. Thank you very much to everyone who actually chimed in. I was just trying to think of Michelle Pfeiffer. Again, face sculpt looks really good. And a nice sheen that does give you that look from the movie. Now, I don't like this movie. And I don't know why I don't like this movie. That's what's actually crazy. And I've gone back and I watched it, and I'm like, I don't know what it is. I don't even think it's a bad movie. I just don't like it. And I wish I could explain why I don't like it. But every now and then there's that one thing that you're like, why don't I like something? But either way, if you wanted these, hopefully you were able to get them as they dropped and they sold out, which is not on par for Toddy Mac stuff. Normally that stuff sits there until he almost has to give it away? Or are those just figures of the Rock that he gave away at PowerCon? And there's the back of her. I don't know. I'll let other people tell me if she has a nice ass. There are some toy guys, they talk way too much about the derriere and the boobs and stuff on females, and eventually you cross that. Hey, you're getting kind of creepy. So I'll let other people decide. G.I. Bro says I don't like it either. Yeah, Batman 89 is my favorite Batman. So I don't know what it is. And again, I don't even think it's a bad movie. I just don't like it. And I've gone back and I've watched it, and I'm like, all right. And I'm sorry. I look up here and I have the Lions game on, and I see a commercial for Tron Ares, and I see Jared Leto, and I'm like, is he gonna ruin another franchise? All right. Every movie that guy is in, I swear everything I ever see him in, he just makes it worse. But yeah, I don't know what it is about Batman Returns that I just don't like, but yeah, she has a definitely sheen to it. There's no doubt about it. So Just Plain Yogurt says the 89 Batman was fantastic, so Batman Returns is good, but didn't stack well versus the first movie. No, and again, like there's a lot of sequels that you say the same thing. Hey, it's not as good as the first one, but I really like it. And I know a lot of people like Batman Returns more. There's just something about it that I go, whoa. Radnam comes in here and says George Clooney was the best Batman. Ed, could you please put this guy in a 10-minute timeout till he can come back and say nice things about people? Jay Solo Wise jumping in here saying the movie has a bit of depressing vibe. Oh, it has a total, but that is Batman, right? When you look at Batman as a whole, he's pretty fucking depressing. I think we all can agree he's a pretty depressing character. Nipple bat, yes. All right. Anyway, here's the box art for it. I'm spending way too much on these. And then we have so I put this out to Josh, Gun Bunny Customs, and it's kind of tongue in cheek. And I said, hey, this needs to be Python Patrol or Tiger Force, right? He loves that shit. And he paints up a lot of stuff. And he's like, yeah, challenge accepted. None of us realized this was going to be $100. So unless you can get it on clearance, please don't spend $100. But I got to say, it does look pretty good as just for the base model. Like, this is not something I'm going to spend $100 on. If this thing is $25, kind of like that, the $10 Jokerized Batmobile that I bought for, I think, $11, $25, I can find something to take pictures with a big giant duck. And I said this would be perfect. They should have made a magnet with a big string, and it could have been like one of those pull toys that kids have, right? But yeah, this is again $100. I'm blown away, especially when most of Todd's vehicles are on a much cheaper scale. Now, looking at the weathering on this, I think it looks amazing. I mean, it looks really good. But my challenge to Gun Bunny Customs to do this was before we knew that this was going to be $100. But either way, it does look pretty fun. If it ends up on clearance at GameStop, because this is a GameStop exclusive, I can see people buying this up because it's just cool to do some sort of weird pictures. Cobra Commander riding in this. What about Serpentor, because his air chariot broke down on his way back to Cobra Island, so he has to take the little duck taxi. I'm almost starting to talk myself into buying it to do a one fucking picture with Serpentor. um, oh yeah, I could get a string, but I'm just saying, like, it would have been cool if they just did something like that. 3 Star says it would definitely, I will definitely buy this on enough of a clearance. Yep, it's one of those things where you're just gonna have to watch for it. Oh, wetsuit attacking Cobra Island in his ducky. Well, wetsuit already has that little device, his little thing. Um, Torpedo, on the other hand, he would have to actually swim, so this could be his amphibious his amphibious vehicle. Anyway, if you need a duck, it's $100 at GameStop. It's an exclusive. I don't see this selling out, not for that price. And then here we have kind of a nice shot. And again, this actually looks good. Photography looks great. The background and everything. They're doing a good job when it comes to some of this stuff. So, and then a very ugly Joker. But I think it fits him. Imagine this is the guy doing, I think, Jersey Mike's commercials now. And we have Yo Joe Jerk jumping in here. So I'm guessing they must have finally got done with their show, probably talking backstage. If people don't know, when you have guests on or when you're done doing a live stream, you end up talking for like a half hour, an hour, maybe even longer. So great to see you in here, Jerk. Viper Scout says, I know you don't talk Jurassic Park. I don't. But I saw a new vehicle that looks like a Desert Fox for 4-inch. It even has the grappling hook launcher like the Dino Hunter version. And you got it, right? And then Izzy Trevi jumping in here. And look, Jerk saying 100% punk. Hey, I wish that we could record. And again, Jerk, I'm willing to bet yours is the same way. I wish we could record what we talk about backstage after we're done, or even sometimes leading into it, because if we could record some of the shit we all talk about, that's the stuff that would go viral. That's the stuff that everyone would tune in to hear. Well more than what people already tune in to watch us ramble on about toys, because that's when you kind of go off on everything. Not you, not just me, just in general. I think you know what I'm and you had Baldy on, and I know how he is. So did his mom tell you guys did Baldy's mom tell him that he had to get off? He had to do the garbage. Anyway, I'm spending way too much on McFarlane here. Now 3 Star says if we recorded backstage, we'd probably all be facing charges. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if we'd be facing charges, but there'd be a lot of people unhappy with us. Well, with me at least. I can't speak for everyone else. But here you go. Here's the front. Here's the back. He is creepy as shit. I will give you that, man. Yeah. It is creepy. There's no doubt. Like he played the Penguin awesome. How he's creepy, and it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And then here we have his soft goods. Right now, this would definitely fit a Joe because he's very short. No doubt about that. So, and Snow Wolf says, "Punk After Dark." No, this is stuff that again, it's kind of like the private conversations, private messages where you'll talk about some people or you have your own conversations. I know. Hey, shocker, guys. Sometimes we talk about people. I'm letting you guys know how the hamburger is made. Anyway, this does look good. Soft again. He kills it with the soft goods. Kills it with the soft goods, and as he's going out, the one thing that you can definitely say is that when the license comes up, he can easily go back to um, uh, not Mattel, DC, and be like, hey, this is what I was producing when you took, when I lost the license. Or he'd go to other companies and go, hey, look what I've been doing. I've been knocking this stuff out of the park. And I'll say it again, like, it's amazing some of the stuff that Toddy Mack has done, because when he came into the scene in the early 90s or mid 90s, whatever it was, with the Spawn, his designs were awesome. I have, again, I have the original Spawn over there, and it still looks great. Horrible articulation, so not much has changed there. It was like 6 or 7 points of articulation, but the sculpts were amazing. So there you go. There's the back of it. And then we have the penguins. This, I can see exactly why these sold out. These are perfect for Cobra underwater, attacking torpedo and wetsuit and any other diver that they might have. This, I see it can definitely work for sure. But yeah. Allison says the penguin has the same expression here that Punk did when he sharded himself at that Arby's after thinking it was going to be a little toot. Oh, no. I don't make that mistake. I don't make that mistake. I'm an old pro on the road. All right. Anyway, all this stuff is sold out. I'm just trying to make time. But here you go. And again, this would actually be pretty cool because you get a little coat. You get a coat with the penguins. You can use it with your Joes. Then you have Arctic Cobra Commander. It looks like he's about to pimp slap someone, doesn't it? All right. There's the back of it. I'm just tired of looking at McFarlane right now. And then we get to this guy here. Shrek, right? Shrek, I think is his name. And I don't even remember this part. I totally forget what happens here. But clearly he meets his demise, if I remember correctly. But once again, this looks amazing. This face sculpt knocked it out of the park. But I don't believe this is a soft goods cape, is it not? That is plastic. So it's kind of odd that he goes so hard with all this other stuff, but then you get this hard cape. So anyway, whew. And there's the box. All right. Whew. All right. That was a lot to talk about. All right. On to a little NECA. And this is really for the Kiss fans. So Ben Cooper, Kiss. I kind of think I remember seeing stuff like this because, Kiss was so comic booky. I know they're supposed to be like a badass rock band, but they're just very cartoony, I guess is the best way to put it, in my opinion. I know people love Kiss. I am not a fan of Kiss. But if you are a Kiss fan or you're a Ben Cooper fan, this is for you. They have the masks that epitomizes exactly what these things look like. I think NECA has done a wonderful job when it comes to these. I do like the bag with the Kiss members on it. Detroit Rock City on Viper Scout. Where's my Ben Cooper G.I. Joe? You and I are all asking. We are all asking that exact same thing. Andrew Taylor jumping in here saying, I think I remember these from the 70s. I don't know if it's the 70s because I would have been so young, but early 80s. I feel like, and maybe it's just because they've become so iconic, the faces and everything, and what their makeup was. But I think they really work because you can picture and imagine that Those things were the worst masks. Um, they were so awful and cold again. Like, not only was the sweatsuit cold in the winter or in the rain and not the winter in October in like Michigan, they're again the masks weren't any better. And Plastic Skull says they kind of look. Yeah, I agree. Like, they do fit. They really do. But I do like the bags. I like what they did there. Again, NECA has some good ideas. Like, they're on the right path to doing some stuff. Some of the stuff I think is awesome. Other stuff, not so much. So, but there you go. If you're a Ben Cooper fan or you're a Kiss fan, I kind of think that, again, you just look at this and Kiss fans they're some loyal, deranged fans. Like, can we all agree with that? There's a lot of them. I know, like, I was looking forward to the Guar figures until I saw how much the Guar figures cost. And then I went, yep, I don't need Guar that bad. Especially to get an odorous Urungus. Like, yeah, no, considering he's the lead singer. I don't care that he's dead. He's the lead singer. Okay, so yeah, 3-star says I had Peter Criss. Well, I had the Peter Criss one. Pop Blender had the Gene Simmons one. So these were real things. I believe most of them have been real. Am I right or wrong? But anyway, if you're a Kiss fan, Ben Cooper fan, there you go. I think I like the bag because it looks so much like a record. It looks so much like an actual record. If you just went and you sliced off the top, you have some sort of weird Kiss record that you could use in a diorama. Let's say that this guy, Action Figure Sold separately, did. And he does have little records in a little crate, just so you know. That's one of the things that he also was selling, these little records in the crates. Have some punk records for next Joe Fest. Now I'm making requests to someone that does dials. I want a bunch of punk records. Pennywise, Bad Religion, Sick of It All, Gorilla Biscuits, Operation Ivy. I need Operation Ivy. Rancid. Hey, but hey, again, the reason why I'm asking before anyone's like, yes, Epitaph, Fat Records, Revelation Records. Just so you guys know, look at you have some Op Ivy. Awesome. What's funny is that when I looked at it, Ed was with me. I noticed the no effects on it. It was because they had flyers, no effects, Ice-T and Body Count, and I noticed the no effects right away, and that's when we started chatting. All right. Okay, so there we go. Next Joe Fest, I'll slap him in front of you both if he keeps this shit up, man. What are you talking about, dude? I am giving them all this publicity, and I'm more than happy to. So anyway, I'm done looking at Kiss. All right, I've seen enough of Kiss. My old neighbor used to love Kiss. The boxes are actually pretty cool, though. I will give them that. Boxes look pretty cool. The way they're just kind of cut out, and you have the art. So there we go. All right, there you go. Whew. All right, I'm done. No more Kiss. 4 Horsemen. Okay, so the 4 Horsemen. Sorry, I'm watching the game. I never have the TV on. I think the only 2 times I've had the TV on was today, and I know I tried watching the Michigan National Championship game. The only time I've ever had other people on my Monday night shows because I wasn't able to watch it. All right, so these dropped on Monday. Now, if you order them both, you didn't get a discount, but they were in stock. And then on Friday, they went up for pre-order. And what this is, and again, correct me if I'm wrong. Um, and Ed says, fine, I'll slap him just because then. See the type of shit. Not only do I take this shit from the chat, from my own moderator, this is going on your review and will reflect your raise that you get. And I was going to give you like a 10% raise this year. 10% is zero or still zero. Okay. Anyway, anyway, so this is like the new Mythic Legions used to do. And again, correct me if I'm wrong. This is all from Joe Gonsalves. And they used to do the All-Star Wave, and people pick. Well, they've dropped the All-Star Wave. They're calling it something else. The figures are actually downstairs. They're actually downstairs. Because I did the review on Otho today. And so the big thing is, yeah, it's tough love. It's tough love. Suck it up. The only thing is I hit back. Just remember that. Crow, Ed's already got his slapping hand on ice. Preparing. Hey, we talked about this before. When you are cold and you slap something like falling, skateboarding, it hurts even more. So let him, because he'll be crying out in pain, I promise you. Anyway, back to what I'm trying to explain when you people so rudely interrupt me by making comments in the chat. This is supposed to be the new All-Star Wave from my understanding. They just dropped the All-Star Wave and they're calling it like Mythic. I forget what Mythic something. Someone tell me. Someone else got them. But I was on another show with Joe Gonsalves and he showed this Otho. And it's, I believe, from the first wave of figures. And they didn't make that many. And I think they only made as many that were pre-ordered. Again, this was early on. And they wanted to come back and rather than just reproduce the exact same figure, they said, hey, we have better articulation. The sculpts are better. Let's update this figure so people have a chance to get them. And also the people that have the originals, they don't lose the value of those figures. Because once again, they can make 1,000 Snake Eyes. If you're a completist, you are going to want that 0-0 Snake Eyes. But yeah, so I thought this figure looked amazing. This Otho, that is the black guy in the blue right here. The other guy is some sort of like orc or something like that. I don't even remember what his name is. But if you wanted them in stock, you had to buy them both. And if you waited, then you get the pre-order, which I believe they actually have to order. Okay, Legacies of Mythos. You mean of Mythics? Legacies of Mythics. Of Mythos, that's it. There's something like that. It's actually on the box. I think I say it in my review, but I can't remember that far back. That was like 6:30 p.m. today. So either way, I wanted this. I really wanted this figure, and I figured, hell, I'll order both of them. They're both interesting. I don't have one like the other one. So anyway, here he is. Here's everything that he does come with. Although, oh, okay. That's what I messed up on in my review. I did not realize this mask of his, the head face came off when I looked at it. Anyway, I guess you'll see me and everyone can call me out on my reviews tomorrow. But here's everything that he does come with. 2 different swords. Again, the soft goods look awesome. I think the blue looks amazing. Whatever he was, like whatever this line comes from, it's very Lion-esque. Lion King-esque. It's all lions, right? I'm assuming that's what their crest is. I don't follow the lore of Mythic Legions at all. Not at all. but this I can fit this in with any, any uh what is it called? Any of the knights that I have. So they all work together. Um thank you. Otho and Urzok. And again, I didn't even look at his name because I didn't review that one yet. So I wouldn't remember that one either. I think I called Otho like Ortho numerous times, like Orko. But I just thought this figure looked awesome. I thought the face sculpt was awesome on the original. Then they dropped it, and I was like, hey, you know what? I really want this. So I picked it up. Now, again, I will say this. When you watch the review, I did not realize this face came out because I pointed out that maybe there's going to be like different faces because maybe you could also make him into an army builder. But I didn't see how this popped out. But I don't remember seeing this. So. And then we get this guy. What was his name? Urzok. But anyway, I haven't opened this guy, so I know nothing about him. But I don't have a lot of Mythic Legion bad guys. So I will be more than happy to be able to start doing some sort of scenes. I got to get a new background that work with the Mythic Legions. That's what I need to do, some sort of background, so I can do more shots like that. But anyway, these are available now for pre-order. And I don't know when you're going to get them because the other ones were in stock, but they're not like a pack. They're separate. So I'm assuming that they should be shipping if they have them still in stock. So, Hi, it's me says, is that a no? Moss. Now they do have a Mossman tribute figure, but I don't believe that this is the face sculpt. No, the face sculpt, and I don't have that one because he is flocked. And I looked at him when I saw him, and it was one of those weird things. And Sergeant Red still has him. It felt like it was going to flake, and I didn't want the flaking all over the place. It just got that feeling because it is such an older figure, unlike like the Mossman here. But it's a good looking figure. I should probably get that one now. Now that I'm thinking about it, even though it might flake, it'd be an upgrade to Mossman. But no, they do have a Mossman figure. This is more like an orc, I believe. I mean, look at his name. Orzok, but I haven't read anything about him. So even though I have it, I haven't even opened it, just downstairs, waiting for me to finish up Circle of Jerks tomorrow so I can do that review for Wednesday. Yeah, 36 at BB. Okay, 37 to BBT. Are they running a sale right now, or is that the normal price? And here we have Ramen Toys jumping in here. Ace, how are you doing? Say, hey, Lawrence, chat, and mods. Great to have you, Ace, man. Yeah, 107 minutes. Is that where we're at? I have this stupid thing that's stuck over it, so I have to restart my computer to get rid of it. I can't see any of that shit now. Anyway, so that's it for Mythic. Again, there's not a lot of toy news right now. We're still kind of on that. Everyone's kind of waiting for more shit to start coming down. Yeah, so yeah, it's on sale right now. If you don't know how, so if you don't know how Mythic Legions or how Four Horsemen work, you are not allowed to put anything on sale unless if it's like site wide. So, from my understanding, when Helidope Toys, if you use my code, you get 10% off everything. So they're able to get 10% off because it's the whole entire store. You are not allowed to put anything on Mythic Legions by itself on sale if you're an authorized dealer, unless if they are running the sale. This way, according to them, and I actually really like what they do. This means across the board, across the board. This is how they're able to make it the same for everyone. So everyone has the same chance to buy it, whether it be through Mythic Legions, through BBTS, or Sergeant Reds, who is the only authorized dealer in Michigan. So, and look at this. Good Money Customs jumping in here saying, got any G.I. Joe stuff? A little bit. Tim H says, which site just joined? BBTS, Big Bad Toy Store. So, Big Bad Toy Store, they're a legit. I don't think Entertainment Earth is a. I don't think Entertainment Earth is a Mythic Legions provider. I don't think so. BBTS has everything. So yeah, BBTS, Big Bad Toy Store. That is the short of it, and they're legit. So. And if you're going to buy multiple things, make sure you use your pile of loot. Tim H, if you're new, like you're new to collecting, you're new to Big Bad Toy Store, I don't know if that's what you're saying, make sure when you order stuff from BBTS, put it in your pile of loot. So if you order a bunch of stuff, you don't have to ship it right away and save on shipping. So, all right. G.I. Joe. Action Fix says the only site for these figs right now is Store Horseman. Oh, okay. Oh, you're right. Hold on. You're right. Let me go back. I got distracted. Yeah, if you want this here, you have to go to Store Horseman. Yeah. So, yeah, these are only available on the Four Horsemen site. Are these going to be available? Ed, do you know if these are going to be available elsewhere? I mean, if it's replacing the All-Star, if it's replacing the All-Stars, you would assume that it's going to be available elsewhere too. So, all right, G.I. Joe. And the Fall Geek Out happened. And people lost their shit over this, like doing videos, posting stuff. Yet we'd seen almost every single one of these pictures. There were a few new pictures, but yeah. There were some guys that were way too happy creating like 5-minute videos talking about this, and I'm like, all right, well, we've already seen all this stuff. But yeah, Joe Fan 84 jumping in here too, and war chest full of toys. So anyway, not only that, this is a Target exclusive, which means there was a limited amount on Pulse. And at 9 a.m., when they went up for sale, or went up for pre-order, you already had people posting on Facebook, 9 a.m. and it's already sold out. They didn't even update their website yet. And people were losing their shit. Then it sold out, but it was still up on Target for quite some time. And when it finally sold out on Target, and it will be available in stores, people lost their collective minds again, because once again, people feel like they can't remember that this has happened before. So, these did go up. I think these look awesome. We're getting closer to the completion of the original 13. I believe we have Zap, and who's the other one? Zap and who's the other one we need? It's a laser guy. I can't think. Flash. But well, this is Grand Slam. Oh no, you're right. Yeah, right. Grand Slam. And this is Short Fuse. I don't know why I said Grand Slam. Yeah, Grand Slam, Zap, and Flash. Those are the last 3 that we need. So, nice pictures. This was a new picture because definitely did not remember the mortar firing. It's just like one of the only new pictures. But man, people lost their collective shit, had to make all kinds of videos about it, and they were posting. And I know in a couple of the chats that I'm in, people were like, do we already know about this? Didn't we already see these pictures? The answer is yes. Yes, we did. But nonetheless, amazing looking figures. Amazing shots. Shooting the Galaxy does an amazing job. We've talked about this. So this was a new shot with his glasses. I believe this is a new shot with his glasses. People were wondering why they did glasses, and there's a whole story behind it. And I believe one of it is that Doc's face sculpt was supposed to be for him for like second version, I think, something like that. And they decided not to do it. I think it was on 3djoes.com. I think they might have talked about it in one of his interviews. And then we also had, he's seen with glasses in the comic book. So, but either way, here's everything. And again, I am excited for this. This is okay. So, Shooting the Galaxy, please don't ever do blast effects like this again. This looks stupid. You do awesome photography. This looks stupid. I don't understand it. If anything, it looks like the gun is blowing up in you, like the bullet has exploded, and you're gonna shrapnel all in your face. But either way, these are the nice shots. I'm excited for these. You will be able to get these at Target. Just once you know the street date, show up that it's probably Sunday morning. That's normally when they're street dated. Show up that morning and ask an employee very nicely, hey, do you have this? You have the DPCI, because you can look it up on the site, even though the figures say they're sold out. And if you are very nice, more than likely an employee will go back and get it for you. Being nice goes really far, guys. Did you know that? So, and this is everything that you come with. Now, we did look at this. Both the rifles that come with short fuse, even though they look like it is Ricondo's gun and Outback's gun, they are molded quite differently. Like, they did make some changes. The stock is definitely different, and I believe that I believe that's a different scope on the smaller rifle. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that is the same one that is. Someone will correct me. But the mortar is all new. It goes on the backpack. We have the Uzi that's being used again. And again, if you're wondering, the original Steeler did come with an Uzi, and that's the reason why. The reason why he comes with it. So, but he should have had a gold gun if you wanted to make them the same. There's a box for it. They're just throwing shit at it because they raised the price. Also, if you order from Target, it's cheaper, like $8 cheaper at Target than getting it on Pulse. But there's the back of it. I'd be interested to see if there's any Easter eggs in the back. They've used this background before, or parts of it. So Tony says Outback's is the same. Okay. How do you know that? Because I have all your Outback guns. Right? How do you know that? You don't have one to look at. They're all at my house. Johnny says rifle is exactly the same mold with the backwards holograph sight on the foregrip. Okay. Johnny, how do you know I have all your guns too? Do you know? I can't even express to you guys how many Outback guns I have. How many Ricondo's guns I have. I have a whole bunch of M16s with a scope on them. I have a lot. And not because of stuff that I've bought, but because of both Johnny Reno and Tony's Figs sending me, especially Tony. Johnny sends me a bunch of stuff, but a lot of times it's like older gridiron stuff. Tony sends me like all, and with that said, I did ask for it. So Johnny says I have tons more of Outback gear. Again, I appreciate it, and just making a little joke here. But also, what dropped while I was off was, and we kind of said we thought this is what was going to happen. They dropped the police officer, the ESU. Before we get into the topic, all the people that thought the police officer was canceled, you don't have to be as deep into toy collecting as myself, Tony, Jerk and Gaines, and everyone else that does the show, right? To understand that this thing was already produced. They weren't canceling it. They weren't not going to make it. Could their communication be better? Fuck yeah, it could. It could be so much better. But it's not. And that police officer was going to get done. It was probably on the boat on the way over here anyway. When they postponed the live stream, technically they canceled the live stream because they never came back and did it. And again, neither here nor there whether or not they should have, but this figure was always going to come. And it somehow got out on some Amazon links because I know people that had the Amazon link to order it. And we said that we thought this was just I thought that, hey, this was just going to drop and like be available. Like the day that like it gets in, they weren't going to do anything. And then Hasbro Pulse, they finally dropped the official pictures. They had never dropped the official pictures, if I am correct. They leaked out, but I don't think they were ever on Pulse. And they dropped from Hasbro. Didn't say when they were going to go up for pre-order. And then all of a sudden, there they were. BBTS had them at like 9 a.m. No one else has them. And it was on BBTS, and as soon as other stuff went up, it got pushed down, and then it sold out. Then it went up on Entertainment Earth. Now, mind you, on Entertainment Earth, it wasn't even on the front page. You had to either search G.I. Joe Classified, ESU, or have a link to it to find it. It wasn't on the G.I. Joe Classified page because I went and looked for it to find a link. It never went up on Amazon. It never went up on Pulse. So, very odd. So, Toy Optics is saying Hasbro canceled the officer, then rush production to them in 1 month. The quality will be abysmal. And that's what our topic will be tomorrow on Circle of Jerks. How abysmal will be the the QC on the police officer from Hasbro. So, in all actuality, the only places that you're able to order it in the U.S. is Amazon and BBTS, and they're both sold out. I believe Entertainment is finally sold out. Amazon, they never went up. Paulson never went up. Krusty Old Crow, he did get it from GameStop, but he lives in Canada, so he kind of went all over. So there's a good chance I would assume that GameStop is going to have them. As I mentioned before, there were people that ordered them from Amazon. Somehow they got the links before they even went up. So there's a good chance that oh my God, dude, the Lions are actually going to beat the Ravens 37-24 right now. That is shocking. Not that they won, but that they're just kind of obliterating them. Sorry, Oz, if you're actually watching. I think someone told me EE sold out. Again, I ordered 4 from Entertainment Earth and 4 from BBTS. So I think they're still going to show up. This is one I don't see it ending up at Ross and at Ollie's. The fireman is sitting there. See, I disagree. I disagree because this is they just scored again. That's why I said 37. 38 now, 38 to 24. It's with a minute 42 left. So anyway, I don't think this is one that's going to Ross. Well, yeah, Kenzo. God knows it won't show up my fucking Ross. All right, God knows that. Turtles and Dragon Ball Z. That's the only shit that shows up at my fucking Ross. Oh, I know the Lions are good, but I know the Lions are good. I didn't expect them to embarrass the Ravens this way. But my biggest thing is the police officer can be used in Marvel Legends. It can be used with Valaverse if you collect Valaverse. It can be used with Operation Monster Force. Any 6-inch, it's going to work. The firefighter can too, but firefighters you don't see nearly as much, right? So that's the reason why that's sitting up there. People only need a couple firefighters. It doesn't matter how many police you have. The firefighters are only there if there's an actual fire going on. There's a fire going on. There's a medical emergency, or they're shopping at Meijer to buy groceries for the fire station. If you live in Michigan and you have a Meijer, you know what I'm talking about because I constantly see their trucks pull up and they go in there and buy food. And the firefighter, I have 2 of them. I'm telling you right now, that is a great fucking figure. Gun Bunny says the firemen work as nighttime Arctic customs. Yes, because they're using the exact same same outfit. And Todd C says, I skipped the officer and got Danny Ketch for $35. I did not skip the officer and I still got Danny Ketch for $35. So yeah. Wait, so in Philly it's Aldi. No. Ollie's. Aldi is Aldi. Oh, you're talking about okay. You're talking about for the firefighters showing up there. Sorry. Just so you know, in the parking lot, I'm like almost next to every single Meijer is an Aldi. Aldi's where I almost always shop. My kids are like, can you go get this stuff? Because there's certain things you can't get at Aldi. So every few weeks, I'll go pick up the things you can't get at Aldi's. Yeah, those firefighters, it's a great figure, great accessories. I know people are mad it doesn't have a hose, but the hose, what would you hook the hose up to? I kind of understand why they didn't do that, but they are it is Snow Jobs. It's Snow Jobs buck, I think, for the most part. So it's one of those things where it's like paint it up and do all kinds of things. So, but it is an amazing figure. I mean, I think I'd have to go through everything that I reviewed, but it's probably going to come in top 10 on my classified list when I do my rankings this year. It just, there's something about it. It pops. Toy Apple says my firefighter gets all the hose. It's probably all that vibrating that's going up in your apartment there. Anyway, so yeah, that's the reason why I don't think you're going to find this at Ollie's. Definitely not going to find it at my Ross, as Kenzo pointed out. My Ross has I almost wish Ross never showed up because I've gone into so many in my area and nothing. And I regret walking through there every single time because talk about a place that is just a disaster. And that's being nice. Those places are a disaster. They open up and they're just destroyed. But they can just be used with so many different lines. And I know other people are going to be making police officers, but let's be honest, they're going to be out before them, unless you want to get those $25 ones from you can find them on Amazon. Some other people have talked about them. Bobby B did a review on them. But yeah, they don't really look nearly as good. They're really cheap. And I've heard people kind of complain about this one already, saying it looks like crap. I'm like, all right, well, it can be a SWAT officer, it can be a police officer. You can pop different heads on it. So, again, I don't think these are going to show up on clearance, unless if Hasbro really just wants to push them out there and they don't want to put them on their site. Then I guess that's on them to, waste away profit. Hi, it's me says Ross has a lot of buggers on everything. Yeah, I don't have shit in my Ross. Ollie's I do. Ollie's I'll find you, so there's no doubt about it. But anyway, that's G.I. Joe right now. So we got a little bit more to talk about. We're going to get into the topic of the 3D printing and what I have to say on it. I haven't prepared anything. I haven't prepared anything. So I haven't prepared anything yet. And explain to me, football fans, are they going for 2? So Baltimore just scored. It's 38-30. It looked like Harbaugh was saying go for 2. Why would you go for 2? If you still have to get a field goal no matter what, even if you get 2. So you still have to score another touchdown. Logically, this makes no sense. I don't get it, but whatever. They didn't get it anyway. So they still got to score another touchdown and go for a 2-point conversion. Dude, I don't get it, but whatever. I know most of you guys don't like sports ball. No. I'm not expecting them to come back. I'm trying to understand the logic of why you go for 2. If you kick the extra point, you're down by 7. No matter what, you still have to score another touchdown. You're not getting 2 field goals if you get the 2-point conversion. That's all that I'm saying. It has nothing to do with I don't care who is playing. It could be the Cowboys trying to beat the fucking Bears. Great job, Cowboys. Couldn't even beat the fucking Bears. You want to know what I got? This was the message that I got from the Cowboys-Bears game. a message from Viper Scout saying, thank God for the Cowboys. Because Viper Scout made a point to say it to me, I think on Punk's Pit, you don't have to send me every Bears meme. And I said, I don't send you everyone. Hey, I heard the owners say that they have a chance to be better after trading away their best player. Because what team in any sport doesn't trade away their best player and be like, hey, I think we could be better? Yeah, I think you could suck worse. Anyway, that's it. But before we do it, let's hear from a couple sponsors, because I need a break because I've just been talking like crazy, and there's my son being super loud for some reason. But anyway, I'm assuming Pop is still doing a show tomorrow, but even if he's not, here you go.
Idiots! Incompetent buffoons!
What is it now, Commander?
Consummate morons, incapable of coherent thought!
Are you watching that show again?
Yes.
Why didn't you just watch Pop Blender and Matthew's discussions, news, reviews before the show came out? Whether you agree or disagree, the perspectives provide enough context to know if the show or movie is worth your time or not.
Yes, I know. I will not miss another Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on Pop Blender's channel.
Be more than once a man by watching Pop Blender and Matthew talk about pop culture news, discussions, and reviews on Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And now you know.
Televiper, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe so we do not miss another episode. And hit that bell notification.
Fired? Have you recently lost your job with a major toy manufacturer? Tariffs got you down? You may be entitled to sharing your story on a major media streaming outlet. We want you to dish the dirt. Call Circle of Jerks at 900-555-0979. We will exploit you for our personal gain. That number again is 900-555-0979. Circle of Jerks. Every client gets a cookie.
All right. So before we get into stuff, I want to say thank you to everyone. I asked you guys to help us at the terminal, the TV terminal, the other show the other channel that I'm part of, to hit 1,000, which we did. I'm going to drop a link right here. I'm going to drop a link right here. So please, if you haven't, we just went over 1,000. So we'd love to get over 1K a little bit more, so we wouldn't have to worry about dropping down below it. We're still far from being monetized, but it was great. But also, more importantly, because I like to see other people succeed, Pop Blender. He was sitting at just below. I was to say this, getting to those last 1,000 is always hard. He was able to hit over 1,000. He was, I think, 4 or 5 away from it. I put the call out. You guys did a wonderful job getting us over, or getting him over, not us. I'm not part of it. Getting him over 1,000. I know that he said, thank you, Pop, not Pop, Crow. I don't know if you're still in. I hope you are. But before we get into this, Crow did something a while back, and this is because I need a break, but this is Crow's rap.
Hashtag made power calls. The things you'll do for friends. All right, well, everybody in the COC, put those likes right there and you follow me. And everybody in that COC, put the likes right there. Subscribe to me. Hey, Punk, look. Now, while he stands here on stuff, you notice this man did not have his hands up. Power of the Force got them all ripped and cut. Now Hasbro's got to fix what Kenner fucked up. 1, 2, 3 into the 4. 1 part, 2 part, 3 part, 4. Hope, the Menace, Awaken Rogue One. Hans the Man, Luke's got fang, but you don't even have a gun. Punk, this guy's just wired too easy. I know everything that he's gonna say about me, and I know that it's gonna hurt, so I'll try not to be rude. But why the fuck I paid $6 for this dude? So yeah, I'm crazy. Yeah, I'm old. Croak's just an alias, but I thought it was bold. C-3PO is the worst figure sold. Popped up in the chest, but not like you, Punk. So it's not a legit workout. He's just bigger junk. But he's getting my action. He got screwed by Kenner. And he's been torn apart and rebuilt like his last name was Jenner. It's hard to try and judge this dude, but I have no idea what he's been through. But I know something about R2. He did stuff with Luke alone, and that's didn't include you. What's the matter, dog? You feel rejected? Didn't you read your script? I don't know what the hell you expected. And Dagobah might as well have been Paris for R2 to find out what real adventure is. Without you, they met Yoda. Now take a look. Both of them are showing up on Grogu's Mandalorian hook. I wish this beat would end. I wanted to keep you as a friend, but Punk, there's just no way I'll do this again. Oh man, I can't believe I hit send. I wish I was going a cappella. This is getting pretty hard to do, fella. got to put it to an end right now. Oh, shit, somehow. All right. That's as far as we go, punk. Never ask me to do that again.
I didn't ask you to do that. Last year, actually over a year ago, Crow, that's something that sits there. Crow, it was for the Star Wars thing. May the power of the Force, if I am correct me if I'm wrong. My memory's getting shot as I get older. He kind of did something, and I said, "Oh, yeah, you got to do like part of that." And he did the whole 2 minute and 20-second rap, and I thought he needs to see this, or I need to play this since we helped him get over 1,000 today, and I knew that he was in, and I know he loves that so much. So anyway, congratulations. I know you work really fucking hard. I do. And that's definitely the reason why I pushed you, man. Like, you're a good friend of mine. You work hard. You give an aspect. You do a different type of review, and that's what I constantly tell people. Have your own style. But you having a military background, and coming from that point of view, I think is awesome. And it is something that is, I'm not going to say lacking. It's something different. So congratulations. Hopefully you've already hit that monetization. So, and Poplender says, I'm doing a show tomorrow, but T's and P's for Matthew. I don't know what the hell that means. I don't, but T's and P's for Matt. I don't know. I may have to call an audible and bring in a sub. No, you can just do it alone. You do alone shows all the time. Anyway. Okay. So the topic. I have nothing. Seriously, I have nothing. The only reason I kind of brought this up was Matthew kind of brought it up. And I've talked about the 3D printing before when it comes to vehicles, right? Are they too big, right? Are vehicles too big? I actually had someone recently go back to and make a comment on a short that I did saying everybody wants 3D printed vehicles. This is, and he's all like, no one wants to see your vehicle or see your figures all knocked down. Here's a tip. Pose your figures before you take it. I'm like, first off, actually, I didn't even say anything, but I'm like, dude, this video is like almost 3 years old. It was before the hiss came out. It was 3D hiss. I had 2 3D hisses up there and 2 3D mechs. It's like, yeah, dude, like, but I specifically telling people, and I was showing the boxes of figures. I'm like, I have all these figures. Like, there's not enough space, right? Anyway, but I did a video where I said, hey, you know what? This is how big 3D printed vehicles are. I don't think people want vehicles. Well, the vehicles came out, and then I did an apology saying, hey, maybe I was wrong. Now I kind of feel like maybe I have to go back and say, maybe I'm right. Maybe vehicles are too big, because you're hearing people kind of complain. Stanley Eberhardt is jumping in here saying good job to Crow on that clip. It's not that easy recording to a rhythm. Is that what he was doing? That thing's been called a lot of things. I don't know. I'm just, I don't play it very often, but when I do, I know Crow regrets it. I was actually, I thought I saw it and I was like, I should play this as I'm leaving, as the show ends. But I'm like, I don't know if Crow's gonna still be here. So I want to play it while he's here, and everyone that helped him get over 1,000 can say, hey, that was pretty awesome. Anyway, back to the 3D topic. On one of the shows, I believe Circle of Jerks, we started bringing up stuff, and we're talking about stuff about different lines, what's happening. And I know it was KJ who said, 3D printing is the way. That's going to replace it. And I disagree. Now, maybe that's not exactly how he said it, but that's how I read it. because he said 3D printing will replace it. And I think there's a huge place for 3D printing. I do. I mean, here 44G2, right? You guys all saw my video. If you didn't, go watch it. And if you have a Dragonfly or a Rattler, order his rocket pods because they're awesome. According to Ron Rudette, G.I. Joe is a vehicle line. Well, again, you can say that. I don't know what the purpose. I don't know. Maybe there's something else going on here. I'm sorry. Thoughts and prayers. I didn't realize that's what that meant. I haven't said anything, Pop, because I don't know if he wants people to know. But now people are going, okay, so I'm also, because right now people are going, wait a minute, what? Matthew's father passed away. So that's the reason why he's not in the chat right now. And it's the reason why he won't be on with Pop tomorrow, I'm assuming. He had to drive from, I think he drove from Texas to Georgia to take care of stuff. So that's the reason why. But I didn't want to say anything, but I know people are going to be like, what's going on? What's going on? Like, okay. So, now 442 says Ron Rudette said G.I. Joe was vehicle line. I don't know if that's even if that's in association to what G.I. Joe is now, G.I. Joe wasn't always a vehicle line. G.I. Joe was a 12-inch line. I mean, that's how you can look at it, right? A Real American Hero, I can't say that it was just a vehicle line. I know a lot of it was based around that, but, you have that many figures, but Star Wars was the same way, right? So, but you're going into classified, obviously bigger scale. And as I had said it before, you don't just double the size, or I don't know, not even double. You don't scale it up from, whatever the percentage of 3.75 to 6 inch on a vehicle. You have to take into consideration how wide the figures are. They can't just, wedge them in. You can't just adjust them. They have to be scaled. And Lenny even talked about it later on, that he said that the Vamp and the Stinger, they were wider than what they had expected. Okay. Because they didn't take certain things into consideration. Snowcat is even bigger. It's even wider than that. And you look at the Hiss, it's a one person, but it still has to be wider in that cockpit. But you put two figures in it, and you're going to add that much more. So, I did a video about how big the stuff is, and some people disagreed, and people say they love this stuff, and we see people printing. But the whole idea is, the whole thought of that some people feel like 3D printing is going to replace this. And people truly do believe toys are done after our generation. And I'm going to vehemently disagree with that, because G.I. Joe, maybe that will be gone. I don't think it will ever fully be gone, because it stood the test of time. There's always going to be the military, right? I think we can all agree with that. But it's never going to be the same. Our generation, yes, we are buying the classified, but toys are going to stick around. Our kids will just buy other things. Fortnite stuff. They may not be buying Fortnite now, but as they get older, and if they get into this collecting market, they're going to want stuff that they played with. Destiny stuff. Not Destiny's Child, but Destiny, the video game. Halo. All this other type of stuff. Toys are going to survive. And again, as wonderful as 3D printing is, KJ was trying to say, well, people they'll be able to 3D print a figure, whoever they want. And that's all true, but there's still a lot of technology. 3D printing, no matter how you look at it, to get something 3D printed, you have to use a plastic. And within that plastic, well, it melts. It gets soft. It droops, right? If you're in a hot weather state, if you take it outside and do pictures, it's not going to hold up. There's no way to get around it. But for certain things, it works. But we do have someone like Gridiron, who I'm actually expecting a couple things I think tomorrow I should have from Gridiron. We've seen Gridiron create multiple vehicles. And we see other people. I've printed a Skyhawk. And we've seen other people print much better Skyhawks than I have. And the technology has gotten better. There's no doubt about it. And 44D2, who, again, if you've watched my video with the rocket pods, are amazing. That's at a much smaller scale, no doubt about it. The only limits on what you can do with a 3D printer are your ability to design and your ability to make it printable. That's very true. That is very true for sure. But you're definitely going to have issues with stuff staying together, the breakage. I don't see it ever replacing plastic mold injection. You can look at, let's say, the Gridiron Hound, and you're still going to have lines in it. And again, not to the point where like the $150 ones that you, holy shit. Sorry, I just look up and I see a car smashing into some building on the news. But you're still going to have lines on it. And you're not going to have people that want to spend the money on it. Now, will the cost come down? Probably. But to get a nice 3D printed hiss, you're probably looking at $200 or more. And I think that's a fair price. And I talked about this before. When people are 3D printing stuff in 44D2, you can probably attest to this. People expect it to be like $20, $30. They expect you to do it for free. And it's like, if I'm 3D printing something, you never see how many times something fails and I have to start over. You don't know how much filament I have to use. You don't know how much time it takes. You don't know how much electricity it takes. And you're just assuming I should do this because I have a big heart and I want to help you and everyone else out. And that's as ridiculous as the people that see random diorama or action figures sold separately. They see their dioramas and they're like, dude, I'm not going to pay $40 for that. I'm not paying. Well, you know what? That person spent a lot of time doing it. Like, they didn't do it just because, hey, I love this and I should do this and make it and give it to you. So I don't see it like replacing plastic mold injection. Never. I do see it being a nice complement to it. And we see that with Gridiron. We see it with Top Fun Toys. We've seen it with Arsenal and Pew Pews. And there are other people. There are other people that do it for themselves. Again, 44D2 saying printing won't replace injection mold. Injection molding lends itself to manufacturing. Printing doesn't. And that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that as great as it is that Gridiron and you can print on demand, and if something is no longer in production, all you have to do is change the file and be like, hey, you know what? I can print this file. It's awesome. But, the designs of it, the sturdiness of plastic mold injection compared to 3D printed plastic. And that's why a lot of people have been kind of hard on Gridiron and saying, yeah, wait till the thing starts melting. Now, I'm not of the notion that the Gridiron vehicles are going to start melting and stuff. Will things start to probably droop and sag like all of us? Sure, there's a good possibility, right? But in the end, you're still going to have lines, and I don't think they're ever going to be able to completely get rid of lines. And just the way it's done, and I'm glad that people are able to quickly create something. And TK Storm says, I paid $200 for a Dreadnought trike, but it's very well done. I broke a piece off by accident after 10 minutes just placing it on the shelf. Yeah. And that's another thing. How easily things will break. I had John from Top Fun Toys. He sent me a box of stuff. And Ace Ventura, he was the one that delivered it. He was the one that delivered it. And it was shocking that any of the guns survived. And you can see there's like broken pieces in there. Barrel's broken, stock is broken. This box, when I actually sent him a picture of the box, he was fucking blown away. I'm like, there's only like 2 or 3 pieces that were broken in it, so I'm not worried about it. But it was like, dude, like the shit breaks so damn easily. Now Kenzo says, I think resin parts are really great for kits and head sculpt replacements, like when Mattel messes up another He-Man head. I don't know what you're talking about. They always get He-Man right. So Warchest says they have new plastic mold injection machines that are badass and fit on your counter. They are not expensive either. Well, that would be different than 3D printing, wouldn't it? That would be something completely different. And that I would go to, that's the difference between an inkjet printer and a laserjet printer. Yes, they both print stuff, but they are both 2 completely different technologies. And most people don't know that. They're like, I can't tell you how many people still say, oh, the ink in my copier. And I want to go, if there's ink in your copier, you're fucked. So that's toner. Toner is a powder. Ink is a liquid. It's night and day. But, you know, are there no lines in resin? Because you still have issues when it comes to resin. And I think normally you see thinner lines, softer lines, but I thought resin still had different lines. And resin has to be cured, and there's 100 different things that go with resin, right? Then I can tell you that, you know, working with 44D2 on that stuff, you know, he had to make adjustments. You know, him and I, we talked things out. He sent me some stuff, and I said, hey, there's some issues with this. He went back and he made some adjustments. And the lines don't look bad. They're not to a point where I go, oh wow, I can't believe I have this on my Rattler, right? I spent $325. You expect me? No, the lines are so minuscule. And again, that's one of the biggest things when it comes to these HasLab, stuff like that. You don't want to see that stuff. I don't want to see texture on car doors, hoods, right? Cars are smooth. I got blasted for saying the Vanguard felt like cheap plastic. I don't know if it's cheap plastic or not. I said it felt like it. And the fact that when you ran your hand across it, it was not a smooth plastic. Cars are smooth. I mean, that's just how they are. And I feel like you get that same feel, that same look from 3D printer. Now, maybe they'll get better, but I still don't know how you completely avoid lines. 44D2 says resin fills the layer lines in as it prints. And resin wasn't worth it for me, so much to clean up. Yeah, and that's one of the things I know Greg, the guy that's printed me a whole bunch of stuff, printed a lot of other people's stuff. He's had issues with his resin. You know, so there, and again, technology is always going to get better. You know, I have an Ender 3, and I've printed some stuff up. I'm never going to be able to print like small little weapons, but I can print barrels and jersey barriers. I printed a whole I mean, the most extravaganza stuff that I did was that it was that Skyhawk, and I'm happy with it. Like that's why I didn't order the Fans Hobby one, because I'm like, I have this one. It'll do till Hasbro gives me their version, and I wouldn't even have a problem ordering the Fans Hobby one, other than the fact that space. And if I'm going to order the Hasbro one, and I know that I will, I'm going to run out of space. So I didn't want the Vans Hobby one. Yeah, Ryan says, Larry prints off shipwreck figures. No, it's okay. And 3D and Jed Jetman says, my 3D printer is sitting here dormant because I'm freaking dumbass idiot and figuring it out. Again, one of those things when it comes to 3D printing, and I think most people think you plug in the 3D printer and then you print something. It's like your printer. It's not. It takes time. It's no different than getting to know YouTube, right? It's no different than getting to know YouTube, right? Everything takes time and things fail. That's one of the biggest things. Things fail. But I don't see the future turning to smaller companies, independent companies that are creating X jets that are the size of, a USS flag. Okay, it's not that big, but that X jet, if anyone has seen it, it's fucking huge. Eric Thurman, I always wanted to make an 8-headed shipwreck. And yeah, so yeah, he says buy a Bamboo Labs A1. It'll make your Ender 3 seem like it models. No, and again, I don't have time. And this has nothing to do with me. Again, like my son, he's asked me, he's like, can you show me how to use? I'm like, I barely know how to use a 3D printer. Fucking you learn how to use it. I spend too much time building this channel, and obviously I have work and I have things outside. Believe it or not, I do other things than this and work. And that's one of the reasons why I will do things from time to time, but I'm just not interested in doing it. I'm glad other people are. That is for sure. Where I would rather put my time into this because I get to know this and I really do enjoy doing all this, even though you kind of heard me bitch about some things earlier on in the episode. But yeah, I think it just becomes like, I don't think we're ever going to get on-demand action figures. I don't think we're ever going to get where, again, if we were, Mark from Gridiron, they wouldn't be working with Fresh Monkey Fiction or Big Bad Workshop, whatever you want to call them today. They wouldn't be working with them to create figures. Mark would have said, hey, you know what? I can just make my own figures. But he's not. And let's say stuff where this here, right? See that? That's Punk with Toys. That is 3 different colors. And the amount of print poop, I think that's what they call it, that gives off when you're doing multiple colors is amazing. It has to spit out everything and move to a different layer every single time. Andrew Taylor says, no, Punk, you encouraging the kid to learn how to use a 3D printer, then you make him make you shit. Slavery for the modern age. I want him to learn how to do it so he can start selling stuff on his own to make money and get the fuck out of my house. That's what I want. And maybe a little bit of that. Motivation on some of these kids these days is not that easy. I'll just say that. But no, it's again, I love the 3D printed stuff. I love when you can create not a soft goods, but a softer material, helmets, hats, um, the uh, plate carriers that fit better, that seem better than what Hasbro's doing. I really do like that stuff. I think it's really good. But to replace what Hasbro and Mattel and Jack's Pacific and all those other people do, I think it's a fallacy to think that. I know a lot of people they really love Gridiron, and they're going to sing their praises no matter what, and they won't criticize them ever. Sounds like another cult that some people like to collect. Everyone has faults, and there's faults in everything, and there's things that fail. But I just don't see 3D printing being the way. It's a great I think it was for me to poop on. For me to poop on. That stupid dog. What was it? Trifin. I was on. What the hell was that dog's name from Conan? Triumph the dog, I think. For me to poop on. Yes, Triumph. That was such a good skit. But no, it's Triumph the insult comic dog. Yes, I got it before any of you said that. Just so you know, just right before. But no, again, there's a place for it. But to replace what we're getting, I don't see it. And the other thing is when it comes to paying for the stuff, that's one of the things. And I've told my buddy Greg numerous times, and he'll say, I think I'm undercharging. I go, you are. You are literally selling yourself short because there's some people that they're like, I'm not going to pay that for 3D printing. Like, yeah, it's not as good as plastic mold injection. We get that. But you know what? Action figures sold separately, the displays that he does are not going to hold up nearly as well as a plastic mold injection one. But he's going to charge more because you know what? He had to spend time cutting it, creating it, painting it, right? And that's what people don't fully understand. And it's infuriating. And again, like I've talked to Greg and I've seen some of the messages when people are like, well, you sold this to so-and-so for this much. And he's like, and that's why I'm like, people like, again, I've told other people that are in my position that we have deals with other people. I'm like, don't ever tell people what you paid. It's no one's fucking business. That is between us and our partner. We should tell them what it's actually going to cost, or say, hey, I'm not sure what the cost is going to be. Because if we say, hey, well, yeah, they gave it to me for $15 and they're selling for 25, that person can say, well, you gave it to Punk for $15. It's none of your fucking business. Just like these other companies, these other YouTubers, they get shit for fucking free. Good for you. Like, good, you got stuff early. One day maybe I'll get something early. If not, it doesn't bother me. That's not my business. So when it comes to this 3D printing, these people don't want to pay the money because they see how much the actual Hiss HasLab was. That was $300. Dude, I'm gonna pay $250 for a 3D printed Hiss. I can just buy this one for $300 and get 4 figures with it. And you're like, exactly. Because you didn't realize all the stuff that went into it. You also didn't bother to think that that person that spent the time doing it deserved to get paid. And I can go right back up to action figure so supply. He's probably dealt with it. That people thought, hey, you should go. Shoot, all that is foam. I can do it. Well, then fucking do it yourself, right? Johnny Reno says, I criticize gridiron, but you never see what it is I criticize, because when I do it, they have to go back to the drawing board and make corrections and redesigns. Yeah, I've heard. I've heard about Johnny cutting apart weapons and gluing them together, and Mark getting aggravated because now people want that design. And they don't realize that Johnny customized it. Ryan says, hold on. Where the hell is it?
We're talking about frickin' toys here. They're toys.
Ryan says, shit costs money, period. If it's more than what you want to spend, move on and don't be a dick. I agree 100% there. But people, they can't. I mean, we've seen how people are when it comes to Hasbro. Oh, dude, I'm just going to wait till that goes to Ollie's. I'll wait till that goes to Ross. Now, there are certain, like, when it comes to that, like, I've talked about that Jean Grey that's sitting over at Target. I saw it on clearance once for $17.50, I think, and I said, that's not clearanced enough. Now, I don't feel I have to have it. But a lot of these people will play clearance chicken, which we've talked about numerous times, because they don't want to spend the money. And that's fine. This is an expensive hobby. I don't understand why anyone thinks that this is an expensive hobby. 3D printing has just made it more expensive for us that are really, really into it, that want to get involved. But when I find something like what 44D2 did, and again, go watch my video with the rocket pods, that is something that it makes that HasLab even better, because those rocket pods look so similar to what you had, except for they have blast effects, they have the rockets, they look amazing. And I believe he said he was going to do a black version to go on the Dragonfly. So I have a set on my Dragonfly, and I also have a set on my Rattler, because I actually had the rocket pods that went with it, and it makes it look different. And it also, when someone sees your pictures, they go, "Whoa, wait a minute! Mine doesn't have that." It's like someone who puts new rims on their car. You're putting your stamp on it. 44D2 says it's the difference between something custom made or something off production line. Exactly. And there's just, there's nothing wrong with it being stock. Madrick says, so Hasbro HasLabs are cheap? No, not at all. I don't know where. No, they are expensive. I'm not sure what you're trying to get at. You're saying so Hasbro HasLabs aren't expensive? No, they are expensive. I'm not sure what you're trying to get at. Cressio Crow saying, have a good night, everyone. Great stream, Punk. Thanks very much for you and this great chat. Oh, dude, seriously. You did all the work. You deserve it. Again, this is someone I talk to on a weekly basis. So Ryan, I don't know if I ever called you Ryan before. It just seems wrong. But sir, congratulations to you. It's not like you weren't going to hit it if I didn't kind of promote it. You were going to hit it. You just know that now I will take credit for you hitting 1,000 for eternity. Just so you know that. No, but so I just Madrick. So yeah, no, like the HasLab they're expensive. But they're going to be made differently than 3D printed stuff. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with anything that's on a HasLab. At least nothing that I've had. And they do have some blast effects, but they don't give you blast effects for everything because they still have to make a profit too. So what you have is people that go behind, like what 44D2 did. You look at the Vamp and the Stingers, and you look at everything that Gridiron did, Pixis Designs. They did stuff. There have been other people that did stuff for that. I know Gridiron had planned on doing a different chin gun for the Dragonfly. That was one of the reasons why they made one of those guns. They wanted to do a chin gun. But I think when he actually got the Dragonfly, he realized the mechanics of it was too hard for most people to remove without actually doing a full customization. Because that's not what you want. Most of the Gridiron stuff, especially this stuff now, most of the stuff is meant so you just pop stuff off. You don't have to unscrew anything. You don't have to break anything. You don't have to cut anything off. You're adding to it, but if you ever want it to go stock again, you pop it off. That's the exact same thing with 44D2. This is just pop off the rocket pods, boom, pop it on, and if you decide to sell it, you're not stuck going, oh shit. Well, I have to tell people it's no longer 100% complete because I made a change, or I have to take things apart. And Johnny's, yeah, and I've talked to Tony about this, and I believe early on there was a lot of different things that you had to do. Pop and swap to get certain things on. And I think Mark has, because once again, a lot of people are not they're into collecting, or maybe just collecting G.I. Joe. They're not as deep into this as we are. And that's perfectly fine, right? I don't think everyone should be as, in depth into stuff as we are, right? People can go do other things. Graf says, is Mutt on a figure stand in the background? No. He's on 1 foot. And if you're wondering, this is the Gridiron Puck. He's been sitting here for months. So that goes to all the people that say, I can't stand the figures. I need stands. That motherfucker has been sitting there forever. So no, there are no fucking stands other than in the 4-inch room. The 4-inch room. The 1/18th room, I guess you could say. There are some stands in that because that can be a pain in the ass. You're the first person to finally notice that. I have taken pictures with them like that. I don't ever want to move them because I put them in the perfect. And again, you can see how easily I pop them off and just move them around. Okay, so if you bought any of the guns that went with the Vamp and the Stinger and stuff, you can stand it on this. It pops into place. This is actually for the for the hiss. So if you take out the turret, you can drop this into it and put it on, and then you can screw it on top. So they sell stuff like this. On the bottom, they just printed their logo. So it's just upside down. And honestly, just made for a flat surface. It just made for a flat surface. Gun Bunny says, everywhere I go in becomes a 4-inch. You and me both, buddy. You and me both. I think we should end it there. Woo! That was a long stream. Thank you guys all for joining me. I will be on tomorrow because if you're like, hey, I haven't got enough of your dumbass, but I want to see you with multiple dumbasses, well, you're in luck because tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we go on with Circle of Jerks. So Mad Rick says, Gridiron have awesome weapons design. The Monster Force weapons are amazing. I hope they will make some weapons packs like Valaverse. Mark would rather you never use Valaverse and his company in the same sentence. I'm just kidding. If I am correct, that is one of the things that I believe I spoke to. That is one of the things that I believe I spoke to the owner of Fresh Monkey Fiction about. I can't think of his name right now. But I think one of their plans is to do something very similar. The first Operation Monster Force weapons, those are not made by Gridiron. Going into season 2, season 0, most of that stuff is. So, and Tony's Figs just gifted 5 Punk memberships, and they went out to JRH, Stefan Cormerick, let's see, Backwoods 78, Boba Fett Gaming, and maybe that was it. So you know what you're going to get quickly is a...
Welcome to the Creamery. Welcome to the Creamery. Welcome to the Creamery. Welcome to the Creamery.
Here's one more.
Welcome to the Creamery.
And just so you know, anyone that becomes a member during the streamathon, more than likely Olivia will be here and she will get to do that live. Though I won't be able to make her come in every single time. She did it 100 times though. Or was it? No, it's 50. I think 50 got donated and she did like 50. And she counted them all. That girl's crazy. Anyway, thank you very much, Tony. Thank you very much. Thank you for everyone for sticking around. This stupid little thing on the top up here, I know you guys can't see it, that's covering. I got to restart the computer. It's driving me absolutely nuts. But please check us out tomorrow. Circle of Jerks, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At 9 p.m., I think my moderator, Ed, I think him and Travis, not fucking Moody, that would be Mr. Wonderful. They do their show, although they've been doing a lot on Wednesday. So I don't know if they're doing it. And then Pop Blender will be on at 10. Unfortunately, Matthew will not be on because his father has passed away. So thoughts and prayers to Matthew for having to go. And it's something I think we all dread it eventually happening. Because unfortunately, it's the one thing that none of us get out of this life. None of us get out of this life alive, right? So anyway, thank you guys all. I will see you tomorrow, and then Thursday, Rex Ship will be my guest. I should probably confirm that with them. Take care.
Ship came in.